matters to James Harden at this stage. He told Yahoo Sports he's told 76ers team president Daryl Morey to improve the roster, sign who they need to, and give him whatever is left over in his new contract. Harden added he's willing to take less money to have the Sixers compete for a title. Lakers superstar LeBron James, on the latest episode of his show The Shop, said he's obsessed with the winner-bust mentality and that not having everybody feel the same on his team causes him sleepless nights. LeBron is clearly sending two messages, believes ESPN's Jalen Rose.
He's talking to himself first, that I can still do this regardless. The next thing he's doing is talking to the Lakers front office. He's basically telling them, accept whatever Joe Harris money you got to accept to get the Kyrie deal done. That's basically what he's saying, because otherwise he won't win another championship in L.A.
Jalen on Get Up. The Mets' Pete Alonso tonight tries to become the first player to win Major League Baseball's Home Run Derby 3 straight years. Coverage 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN TV.
The new Venture X card from Capital One. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel, plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you haven't take problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a Chris ain't one.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. And, so today's a Monday. You got nothing to talk about. Nothing happened over the weekend.
Something happened.
You didn't have one of the greatest wins in golf history.
But why was it one of the greatest wins in golf history?
Well, it's obvious. A guy, pulls off a 6-under on the back nine for the first time in major history. What?
It's not just a guy. It's a mulleted man, baby. We got a 2022 champion golfer. He's a mulleted man. It's the year of the mullet. Yeah. It is starting now.
Cameron Smith wins the Open Championship at St. Andrews and apparently is going to jump to the LIV immediately.
That's not done.
It's not a done deal, but it's a heavy rumor around the PGA world.
From what I have been told, they basically said, here's a blank check. What number would make you feel pretty?
Now, I heard it was $90 million that was offered.
I would be shocked if it was that low. Yeah, I would be shocked, especially with what's happening today. You've already got David Faraday that has left NBC. Now he will be going to LIV as well.
This is crazy.
This is what we've been trying to tell you. If you put your fingers in your ears and act like this doesn't happen,
right,
it's going to come back to bite you.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what the PGA has done. But you know what? It wasn't about the PGA over the weekend. It was all about, what is it, the RNA?
RNA, yes.
Yeah.
And the mulleted man.
And the mulleted man. Cameron Smith, Cameron Young, Rory McIlroy. It was a hell of a finish to the Open Championship if you got up early enough on Sunday morning to watch the final of it. Well, it did end around noon, so.
Well, and the thing you have to look at is Rory McIlroy the most snake-bitten athlete in all of sports right now?
Did he
could just do nothing?
Did he take that mantle over from Phil in the golf world?
Oh, he certainly's past Phil for me.
Really?
I need you to understand we've been playing majors for over 150 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's the first 54-hole leader in a major to hit every green in regulation and lose.
Mm-hmm.
He has lost in some of the most historically unbelievable ways humanly possible. And it was one of the things that blew my mind was yesterday, as Rory's coming up the 18th fairway, he didn't make it to the green, which means he's now going to need the most unbelievable shot probably in golf history. I'll be honest with you, if he had sunk that, I don't even think it would have mattered how it finished.
I don't know. I mean, because it was the last shot, obviously it would have been great. But, I mean, would that shot have been any better than the chip in that he had out of the bunker on 10?
I didn't even need to know how you finished that sentence. You drop one from 40 yards out, chip it in to push this to a playoff at the Open. Absolutely. It would have been probably the most iconic shot ever. The problem is that the chances of it going down were, I don't know, a snowball's chance in Atlanta.
You're talking the magnitude of the shot.
Oh, absolutely.
The difficulty, the shot from the bunker on Saturday was that would have been way more difficult to pull off.
Yeah, but you got to look at the pressure.
Of course.
Look at how many people were swarming the green. I mean, it was a sight to see all of these people going up to the 18th fairway.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting looking at the shot going, this is borderline physically impossible, right? Like, this would defy the laws of gravity unless he just dunks it.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't understand why he didn't putt it, but
that's the thing that got me about that course, I guess. Look, I don't know that I've ever really paid close attention as a golf fan, which I now consider myself to be, at tournaments at St. Andrews. I don't know that I've ever seen another golf tournament where dudes are having to putt around bunkers and stuff.
That's links golf.
That's insane.
That's how links golf works. You get, first of all, the greens are gigantic. The discrepancy between the fairway and the green is not that marked.
Right, they were talking about one of the greens they kept talking about was 125 yards wide. Which, it's just, you're just hitting it in a field.
And that's how the game was intended to be played. That's why that tournament is so large.
Right.
The golf purists see the Open as more of an indicator of the championship golfer of the year than the Masters, certainly than the U.S. Open. That is the tournament. Mm-hmm. For Rory McIlroy, that is the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
He has 51 weeks until he gets another crack at that. And you had it right there. And the way he said it after that tournament was perfect. I didn't do anything wrong today.
No.
I didn't really do anything right, though.
He was, 4 under?
Yeah.
Yesterday? And unfortunately,
and Cameron Smith
just had a hell of a weekend.
Behind the power of the mullet.
Best part of the post-game or the post-match ceremony, post-game ceremony. What do they call it? Post-tournament ceremony.
It's not really how you would phrase that, but sure. I mean, any of those will work.
Yeah, whatever. Was, of course, him saying he was going to find out how many beers he could get inside that claret jug.
He downed a bottle of champagne before he got off the course, which leads me to ask a question that will be our daily draft on Friday.
Okay.
If you had to pick your perfect drinking team, who you got?
Celebrities that you would love to drink with.
You're making basically your dream bachelor party. My bachelor party will be coming up soon, and my hope is that if I put the right team together, maybe I'll get them to show up in Vegas.
I don't know that you can swing that, but we'll see.
I feel like John Daly would just need airfare, and he's down.
Every kid has a dream.
That is correct. And yesterday, I got to see that dreams do come true.
For mulleted men.
Nothing in this, the year of the mullet, there is nothing that we can't do.
God, he is so gross looking.
Cameron Smith.
He's a hell of a golfer.
Oh, he's a phenomenal golfer. And I'll be honest with you, he had some terrible luck in majors too.
Mm-hmm.
But he is the definition of what's wrong with the PGA.
Okay.
You know how I was railing on the Tiger thing Friday?
Mm-hmm.
It's because of golfers like that. He should be the narrative, not 46-year-old Tiger that can barely walk. But this is what the PGA's done forever. Now, they've been lucky up until this point. You lost Dustin Johnson, who's 37 years old, Koepka, who's in his 30s, Bryson DeChambeau, who, well, he's just not very good at this, and Phil that's 51.
Mm-hmm.
You lose Cameron Smith, the exodus will be drastic. Drastic. And now they found a way around the world golf rankings. That came out for, I don't know if it was Ian Poulter or Lee Westwood. They'll play in the Asian Tour. Because guess what? That does get world golf rankings, and nobody plays in it.
So the Asian Tour.
They can play 8 tournaments and still qualify for the majors.
Okay.
I did the math.
All right.
Because nobody plays in those tournaments. The competition would be less than you get on the LIV Tour. So you'll see Dustin Johnson go into one of those tournaments. He'll end up in the top 20 because he showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to slight these golfers. It's just the PGA is the ultimate tour to play on. Guys that are winning majors will play on any of these little subsidiary tours and do quite nicely.
Mm-hmm. The social media watchers in the golf world, they're all flipping out, apparently. Reading an article earlier today about how Lee Westwood liked to post that Cameron Smith was going to the LIV. And that means it's got to happen, right?
This is the one you have to avoid. If you're the PGA Tour and you want to have any form of repute, you cannot let one of your best young up-and-coming golfers that's now holding one of the major tournaments, you can't let that guy defect.
But to me, that's the funny thing is that the PGA can't do anything about it.
That's the problem.
They can't do a thing.
This PGA thing is exactly like what we said with the NCAA. You had a chance to cut this off at the pass.
Mm-hmm.
When you didn't do it, it turned into the Wild Wild West, and they're throwing stupid money. I mean, dumb money. It doesn't even make any sense. Adam Black said in our YouTube comments, this would be their biggest get, and I don't disagree with you in the least. Because this is a young guy that has everything to lose. Never played in a Ryder Cup. And it comes on the heels of the European Ryder Cup captain going, I don't care. You can strip me of it. Henrik Stenson is apparently defecting to the LIV. If he does, they will not allow him to be a Ryder Cup captain. It'll be the first time that somebody's looked at them and gone, I don't care. I don't care. This is one of the most important things in our sport, and I don't care. And it would just be an absolute damning day.
Because what does it do for you, really?
The Ryder Cup?
The Ryder Cup is the one thing that we have talked about, and I keep telling you, I don't get it.
That's because you're not a golf fan.
Well, and I understand that, but, I mean, does it add anything? Do you make any money on winning the Ryder Cup?
But that's not it. Yes, you do, but that's not it. This is the ultimate countryman camaraderie golf thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's so fractured, you losing a captain is bigger than losing any player in this. Because that's almost like a status symbol. Those are all older golfers that are past their prime. But it's almost like a career achievement that your countrymen have chosen you to be the one that represents them and make the decisions in the Ryder Cup. And for him to just go full-on Stone Cold Steve Austin double bird on that, this is worse than I thought it was. If you're beholden that this LIV thing has to go away, you're in worse shape than I thought you were.
Yeah, because it's not.
No. Now,
and it's
if
only
the Ryder
bigger.
Cup doesn't mean anything, you have nothing else. The majors can say all the things they wanted that they want to. They're not going to keep you out. That's been made perfectly clear. So what else do you have? Oh, we're not going to let you play the Phoenix Open. Okay, cool. I'll crush Michelob Ultras in Boston. It's fine.
Right.
Just don't have anything else. And it is so funny to me to watch poorly run institutions, which the PGA, at the net of it, the PGA is a poorly run institution. You've never had any form of competition. Anything that was even vaguely competition, you have squished them. So the reason the Korn Ferry Tour is borderline irrelevant now. It was a feeder system for the PGA Tour, and it still is. But it's irrelevant because now anybody that's really that level plays on the tour. There's so many tournaments, so much inventory. It's easier to get your tour card than it ever has been before. So that killed that off. You can't do that here. These guys are taking the money and running. And it's not that it's going to hurt your product. It just makes you look bad. So now sponsors are looking at this going, okay, David Faraday, who is the most known name in golf, from a commentator standpoint, he's gone.
Yeah.
Phil, one of the biggest draws in golf, he's gone. Dustin Johnson, same thing. Now you lose potentially a reigning major champion. Good luck.
Also being rumored to be in heavy talks with the LIV, Hideki Matsuyama, Tommy Fleetwood, Bubba Watson, And, of course, as you mentioned, Henrik Stenson.
None of those would be good. Henrik Stenson and Cameron Smith would be the Now we have to do something, and we have to do it immediately.
Right. Well, you got last year's Masters champion in Hideki Matsuyama. And Tommy Fleetwood, I mean, he's a dang good golfer.
He's good, but he's regressed in terms of on-course play. Cameron Smith is the one that is in his prime.
Oh,
there
yeah.
is
no doubt.
There's nothing. He is on the upswing, and you get one of those, and I'm telling you right now, the following him out the door would be precipitous.
It's only a matter of time before Scotty Scheffler follows suit.
That would be the end. That's where, okay, well, now it's an even playing field, and they have more money than you.
Cameron Smith, the big winner from yesterday. Rory McIlroy, I mean, do you consider him the big loser of the tournament? Are you placing all of this at his feet? The fact that he couldn't close the deal, we'll talk about that coming up next, right here on ESPN Asheville.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Greene. That's Greene. Enter it now.
Log on to ESPNABL.com.
You do not want to miss this. Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's huge summer sale is going on now. 15% off all cleaning services. Carpets, rugs, upholstery, tile, and even air ducts all 15% off. Use promo code SUMMERSALE at ZeroResAsheville.com. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
I am now over 80 pounds down now on the PhD weight loss program. We've been doing it since Thanksgiving. I've been working the plan. Their healthy nutrition, the protein-based diet that I am on with PhD weight loss has helped me lose over 80 pounds. I cannot be happier with my results, and I owe it all to Dr. Ashley Lucas, the MVP of PhD.
You have been running 5Ks and doing things like that, which that was not really my goal. I've always been athletic. I've always done athletic things. I just wanted to be able to do it and not die for 48 hours afterwards. And thanks to the plan and program at PhD, I'm able to do that. I'm playing golf the same way I did in my early 20s. I'm down to my high school weight, and I haven't felt like this since I was in high school, and it's all thanks to PhD weight loss.
213 pounds after being 295. MyPhDweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
5X480. Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching, but a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Grab your golf clubs and head out to Kenmure Country Club for the 2022 Mike Tweed Memorial Rocket Open. It's on Monday, July 25th with a 12:30 shotgun start. Your team entry includes 2 mulligans per player, a long drive contest, closest to the pin, and a par 3 challenge. Box lunches provided as well. To get registered, email BigJoeGreen7@gmail.com. That's Big Joe Green with an E, 7@gmail.com. Or call 828-243-8076. And get ready for a great day on the links with the Reynolds Rockets. The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
I got up super early on Sunday morning, and I watched much of the end of the coverage from St. Andrews. It was a phenomenal race to the finish between the Cams and Rory McIlroy. Victor Hovland fell off. Dustin Johnson fell off, out of contention late in the tournament. And I just didn't see it as, oh, Rory blew another one. But I've seen a lot of reaction to that.
The golf purists will say it's Rory blew another one. Because this is what he does. It's now 8 years since you've won a major.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say you've ever been clearly the best player in golf, but you've been up there for quite some time. And you just keep doing this. This is the old Dan Marino story of, can you really be considered one of the all-time greats when you never win one of these?
Mm-hmm.
And he did early in life. We thought Rory was going to contend with Tiger.
Right.
He has 4.
They
He has
build
4 in his career, and he's 33 years old.
Yeah, well, the golf loves to build everybody up to be the next Tiger.
But see, that's the problem. Exactly what you just said is the problem, is that everybody's been built that way, and they've all been a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
So the draws that this sport has are Rory, because you don't build up the stars. That's the reason that a Cam Smith would even listen to this. Did you notice he didn't shoot it down when he was asked?
No, he didn't.
There's a reason for that.
Of course.
Because he doesn't want to look stupid when he accepts it. What changed? Well, I just won the British Open, which we don't call it that. As soon as he said that, I went, somebody's going to say that out loud. We don't call this the British Open anymore. It's the Open Championship. Crown the championship golfer.
And why? What does it matter?
It just matters, okay? It just matters. It's kind of like calling runs in your stupid baseball. If you call them points, immediately you hear that and go, nope, that's not the way that's supposed to be said.
I have never heard it referred to anything but the British Open for years.
It changed like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They dropped the British because it's actually the European Championship Golfer of the Year.
It's not just held in Britain.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's where the difference in terminology came from.
Gotcha. I saw a lot of this against Rory McIlroy, and I go, so you were expecting him to play perfect, just absolutely perfect, because that's what he would have had to have done to beat Cameron Smith.
You were up 4 on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You were 4 strokes ahead of the field on Sunday. That's, at the end of the day, I don't care why you lost. I don't care if somebody goes out and shoots a major record. I don't care. This was yours to lose. If you don't win it, you lost it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way that works. Cameron Smith shoots a 64. Okay, why could you not do better than a 68? This is your tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You have routinely said this is the one that you care about.
Right.
And you just choked again.
You can't do better than a 60. Do you know how awful that makes you sound?
It's the way the sport works. That is the way this sport works. You cannot be 4 strokes ahead of the field and then not win it.
Right.
I'm not saying it's fair. It's the way the sport works.
I'm just thinking, like, would we feel the same way in any other sport? Would you feel the same way in, let's take out the basketballs and the baseballs because those are not one and done scenarios. So let's take the NFL, for example. So the Green Bay Packers are playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And Aaron Rodgers comes out and he throws for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he loses to Patrick Mahomes, who throws for 420 yards and 4 touchdowns. Did Aaron lose that?
50% of football fans would say yes.
I'm sure they would.
Dan Marino has been raked over hot coals the same way, but that's not really an apples-to-apples comparison. You're throwing out a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
You got to throw out an individual sport. And I'll take – there's only a few of those, so I'll take one where at least these 3 names are known.
Okay.
If in tennis you had Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, one of them never wins majors ever. Yeah, you'd be getting raked over hot coals.
Right.
That's how this works. You want to be known as an elite of the elite. And in golf, it is hard to get into that. You do have to win the majors. There are people that don't think Phil's a top 15 golfer of all time because he didn't win enough of the majors.
Right.
Do I agree with that? No, not really. But with Rory, I'm starting to get it. Because the older he has gotten, the less likely he has been to close these things. I found myself rooting for him, and I don't find him to be all that likable.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping he was going to dunk that chip from whatever it was, 40 yards away. If for nothing else, because I wanted to see the Mulleted Man beat him in the playoff.
I was going to say, there's no shot that you were not pulling for Cameron Smith.
As soon as I figured out John Daly was not winning this, which I hold out hope for every single year. God. Cameron Smith was that's a fine consolation prize for me.
Nice.
And the cost.
Nice. Cameron Smith is the 2022 Open Championship winner, the owner of the Claret Jug.
Hashtag mullets are real.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. NFL training camps getting underway very, very soon.
Today. We have players reporting today. Wow. Rookies for the Buffalo Bills are in the building.
Nice.
Which means, justified for me to say, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Coming up after the break, we'll get just a bit outside. Plus, we will give you the pre-training camp preview for your Denver Broncos.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Chances for those showers and thunderstorms in the early going here. Patchy fog late. We're going to drop temperatures back to around 65. Early fog, of course, for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies. Temperatures going up to the mid-80s. Maybe some scattered storms on the way for the afternoon. Still a possibility for scattered storms Tuesday night. And we've got chances for afternoon storms Wednesday. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 88 for the high. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries. Wendy's knows everyone hates cold and soggy fries, so they changed theirs to serve them up hot and crispy all day, every day, using only natural cut skin-on fries, prepared to golden goodness and perfectly sprinkled with sea salt. Try Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries today at participating U.S. Wendy's.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. Running your car's air conditioning is the main contributor to reduced fuel economy in hot weather. Improve your fuel economy in hot weather by putting the windows down at lower speeds and using the AC with windows up at highway speeds. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/earth.
All right, where are we going for breakfast?
I kind of want a breakfast quesadilla.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing quesadillas for breakfast these days.
Well, Taco Bell is.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, they have this Bell breakfast box now that comes with this breakfast quesadilla that's super cheesy and a hash brown.
Okay, wish I knew about this earlier.
And it has Cinnabon Delights and a coffee in it.
Why did I not know about this earlier?
Try the new $5 Bell breakfast box, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations during breakfast hours only, 7 to 11 a.m. for a limited time. Contact local store for prices and participation when fair. Tax extra. Drinks exclude freezes.
And Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We had history yesterday in St. Andrews as the Cameron Smith won the Open Championship.
Mulleted man.
Mm-hmm. With the greatest back nine performance we've ever seen in a major championship.
So what you're saying is he was business in the front, party in the back?
Hell yeah, he was.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah, he was. We also had history made yesterday in Major League Baseball as the Major League Baseball draft was going on, and it's the first time in history that two Major League Baseball players' sons were drafted back-to-back at number 1 and number 2. Jackson Holliday was the number 1 overall pick for the Baltimore Orioles. He is the son of former Asheville tourist Matt Holliday. And then taken second overall was Drew Jones, who is the son of former Atlanta Brave Andrew Jones. That's the only thing I care about in the Major League Draft. Like, I want to know, like, whose kids are coming up. That makes me feel old.
So you didn't care that Kumar Rocker went like 15 spots ahead of where he was supposed to?
Kumar Rocker went number 3 overall to the Texas Rangers. He was drafted 10th last year. Didn't get a contract from the Mets, and somehow going to play independent ball, he wound up going 7 spots earlier.
Here's everything you need to know about the Major League Baseball draft. How much money you're going to make plays into it.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me how stupid your draft is without telling me how stupid your draft is.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think about slotting your players.
Yes.
Why? We don't do that in any other sport, and you're the one without a salary cap. So you agree that a cap is important, but not to anything that actually matters.
Right.
Genius.
It's kind of a bit of a surprise that Jackson Holliday went number 1 overall. Everybody had Drew Jones as the number 1 overall prospect in this draft, but he was going to make more money. So
but they had to worry about how much the bonus was going to count against the bonus pool.
Right. Also drafted yesterday, just want to throw this out there, was Carl Crawford's kid. That makes you feel old. I watched Carl Crawford when he was in the minor leagues in Charleston. Yeah. So there's that. But, yeah, first time ever, sons of Major League All-Stars go 1 and 2 in the Major League Baseball draft.
A large topic of conversation has been realignment in college football. And now we've had a coach throw his program in the ring. Deion Sanders, when asked about conference realignment, said, what do we want to do? Do we want to sit back and adhere to tradition, or do we want to put ourselves in a financial situation where our school prospers? You've really got to factor that in and weigh those options. There's some tremendous options that some of the schools are going to be faced with. We're already speaking about it. Now, the reason that I wanted to mention this, that school's more alluring than people think. You've already got 2 HBCUs that have joined the conference because NCA&T and Hampton joined the Colonial.
Mm-hmm.
They would be more attractive than you think. And it's all because of Deion Sanders.
Okay.
I mean, you got to look how they're recruiting. How many top 300 recruits have you seen with Jackson State in their Final 5?
That's true.
This is the reason that I look back on the Mike Norvell hire at Florida State and went, yep, you did that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You did that horribly wrong. And if I was hiring for a legitimate job, if I can't get a Lincoln Riley, bring me the player. Bring me the former player.
Yeah.
That I can market that way, that these kids grew up watching. Sometimes, in some cases, their dads grew up watching, their moms grew up watching. That's who I want. If the Norvell thing crashes into the rocks, which I'm becoming less and less sure that it's not going to.
Oh, it's going to.
Go hire Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like him, hate him, whatever, you're not indifferent about him, and you cannot undersell how much he has done for that program and HBCUs on the whole.
Mm-hmm.
5 years ago, this conversation would not have happened.
No, I've been super shocked at the level of commitment that he's been able to get to come to Jackson State.
Of course he is. Deion Sanders. At this point, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, but if Deion called me in, coach, you get me a helmet, let's go.
Right.
Let my mullet flow underneath that helmet, and I'll run through a wall for you, Coach Prime.
Doesn't matter that you're never going to be seen playing.
I don't care.
Any of that
I don't care. I want to play for Deion Sanders. Straight up. How many coaches can you say that about in college football right now? Dabo Sweeney. Did you see what Dabo did over the weekend?
No, what did he do?
He wore a suit that I'm going to say was a little over the top. He looked like a flamingo, and he was wearing a fedora. Certain dudes can pull that off. Others can't.
Dabo Sweeney.
You are in that. You cannot.
Yeah, you are not. You're not able to pull off the. Wow. Pink flamingo suit with a fedora.
And I know why he did it. I'm not disputing why he did it. He was. I want to say the event was for breast cancer.
Oh, okay.
I understand why you did it. A little more subtle. That was very, 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 very over the top.
Like a muted pink.
It was all pink. He was pink from head to toe.
Right, but what I'm saying is maybe he should have gone for like a muted pink.
Oh, absolutely. Rock the tie. Maybe the sport coat.
Right.
When you put on the fedora, I feel like somebody should have looked at you and gone, mm-mm.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Pre-training camp previews continue with the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson's in town now. He's got all the weapons. Yeah, mostly all the weapons.
The weapons are fine. I think Jerry Jeudy takes a step forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think you will see him be the receiver that we thought he would be when he was drafted. He's still a good route runner.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is he was being thrown to by Drew Lock.
Right. You got a first-year head coach coming in here, and the defense is pretty good. Problem is they're in the AFC West. I have seen prognostications for this team range everywhere from this team finishing last in their division, but still being respectable, to being Super Bowl contenders.
Super Bowl contenders is insane.
Yeah, I don't have them as Super Bowl contenders. I don't think that they'll make much noise in the playoffs if they do make the playoffs. There's a chance that this team with Russell Wilson doesn't.
I'm going to say something, and I've said it on the show before, but I'm going to say it in a slightly different way than I've said it before.
Okay.
The team he's going into here in Denver is the Seattle Seahawks Plus. This is the HBO Max of Seattle Seahawks. The problem is you're playing in the best division I've ever seen. I think that there may not be a team in the NFL that has a wider range of outcomes to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have any way of diminishing this team. They don't have a deficiency. And you go up and down the roster. I don't love the offensive line in all these places, but I've seen Russell Wilson be special behind bad.
Right.
So I don't dispute any of that. I just don't know. I don't know if in year one with a rookie head coach, Russ in a completely new system, a lot of young guys that they're talented, but who's the guy? When you need a 3rd and 7, where do you go?
I would say Jerry Jeudy.
I would say Cortland Sutton.
Really?
And that's kind of the problem. You don't have that guy. Now, that's the glass half empty. The glass half full, I've never seen a running back room like this with Russell Wilson. I think that's going to be special. That's really my biggest curiosity. How much of this is going to be let Russ cook? And how much of this is going to be the coaching staff going, that's not our best path to success.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team that should finish top 5 in rushing attempts in the league, and that's not even debatable to me. Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, Denver Broncos. That's how that should go.
With Javonte Williams, the stud, and Melvin Gordon returning.
And I totally agree with that. This is a special team. This is a special talent team.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of up in the air. That's what bothers me, because there's a lot of teams in this conference that I don't say that about. There is no up in the air to the Buffalo Bills.
No.
There's no up in the air to the Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, LA Chargers, and then you get into just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City Chiefs, Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I'm looking at it going, you're asking a lot here. You're asking a lot for a first-year head coach that's playing a schedule that is a murderer's row. I mean, have you really deep dove this schedule?
I mean, I've looked at it.
It starts nicely. I mean, they'll be 2-0 if they show up in uniforms because they play the Seattle Seahawks and the Houston Texans.
Okay.
You get the Jets and the Jaguars both at home right before your bye week. You don't have 2 easy games for the rest of the year. And I'm not talking about back-to-back. I'm talking about total. You get the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte the Sunday after Thanksgiving, which is always a weird week in the NFL. And you're an East Coast team traveling or a West Coast team traveling east to play at 1 o'clock. That is not as big a deal as people make it out to be. It's still a deal.
Okay, so the schedule is going to be tough. It's the first year of the new head coach. But again, it's Russ. How can you not trust Russell Wilson when he's got such talent around him to win games? And the defense is going to be good to keep. The
defense is going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to level with you. I don't think there's going to be a good defense in the AFC. The offenses are too prolific. Nobody is going to win by playing good defense. It's not how this league works. In the NFC, where the third best quarterback you see in a given year could be Dak Prescott, okay, maybe. Now we can talk.
Right.
But, I mean, look at the quarterback matchups that they have to go through. 3 weeks in a row to start the season, you have to go to Derek Carr. You get Matt Ryan in Denver, and we all know his kerfuffles playing outside, especially when it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go to Justin Herbert. That's gross. I don't care how good your defense is. This is not going to be we're winning 14-13.
No.
That's not happening. And I'm just not sure that offensively you can keep up with teams like that. That's my fear. Now, the converse of that, Russ is a special quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now he has something that he hasn't had in a long time, and that's that chip on his shoulder. We undervalue how important being slighted is. Look at Bobby Wagner's comments with the Rams. I didn't want to leave Seattle. But since you forced my hand, what did I want to do? I wanted to come home, and I wanted to get back at you.
Right.
I can do both here. Russ has some of that same mentality of, I've kind of been hidden in Seattle for all these years because it's a smaller market, not crazy talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Won a Super Bowl. That's good. But I've never felt like he got the love that he deserved. And a lot of it's been because what's around him.
But is he going to get it in Denver?
It depends on where you finish. I will go out on quite a wide limb here. This team wins 12 games. Russell Wilson's probably the MVP of this league.
Oh, that'd be a great
You go
change.
12-5 against this schedule, he's the MVP of the league.
Yeah.
Because just not that much has changed. I mean, he got rid of Vic Fangio, which is worth at least one win. The incompetent curmudgeon himself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can take this team, and I'm not even saying you have to win the division, you make the playoffs, it's going to be a lot on Russ. It's really hard at this point to 3 yards in a cloud of dust yourself to a wild card spot. Baltimore can do it because they have a really dynamic quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And on the defense, you've got talent everywhere. Denver's good. They're not that.
No, they're not that good.
So Russ is going to have to be special. Good thing is I've seen him do that with far less than he has here. But, man, this is the AFC is going to be a murderer's row. There's no other way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
You come out of this, you will have the respect of the league.
Can Russell Wilson finally get an MVP vote? That'll be the question.
They make the playoffs. I don't see how he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He will have to be unbelievably good. I mean, if you look historically through his career, he's only thrown for over 4,000 yards 4 times. Never broken 4,250.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to have to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 43 to 45. Probably throw for, I think you got to throw for over 30 touchdowns to be competitive in this conference the way it sits.
Yeah.
Because I won't be shocked if there's a quarterback in the AFC that throws for 50. Will not surprise me in the least.
Has it gotten that? Has the defense gotten that bad, or just the offense?
The offense is that good. Everything in this league steers to offense, and I guess that's my problem. I look at who you're going to have to beat. You're not even the best at what you do in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
That's Lamar Jackson, because he's more mobile than you are. He's faster than you are, and he's harder to game plan than you are. And then you're going to beat Josh Allen. You're going to beat Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. Keep going down that line. That's just hard for me to see. I'm not telling you it can't happen. This is not the next team we're going to talk about the next hour, which is completely hopeless.
Right.
And I feel like anytime I talk about this team, that's what people hear, is that, no, I'm not trying to slight you. I feel like you are going to be damned by your expectations.
But you have to ask yourself, you look at the other teams in the division, honestly, do you believe that the Denver Broncos are the most talented team in this division? If you're one of those people that says, you're slighting Denver and Russ, okay, well, you have to take a look at each of the teams and go, there is no doubt that they are the fourth most talented team in the division, which means they're the least talented team in the division.
Well, I mean, you get close with the Raiders. I think them and the Raiders are very close. The difference is there's a lot more cohesion on that team, and I'm getting Josh McDaniels. You're getting a first-year head coach.
Exactly.
And I love Nathaniel Hackett. It's hard to come into this league and win.
Mm-hmm.
When those decisions are on you, that's a difficult thing to wrap your head around. And he does – my biggest qualm with what Denver did in the offseason, he doesn't have that guy. He doesn't have that Wade Phillips guy. First-time defensive coordinator, obviously he runs the offense, so who does the decision fall on?
Mm-hmm.
If you're sitting there as a play clock drives down, 4th and 2, who's making that call? You are. And I've seen this too many times. You cost yourself a game here, you cost yourself a game there. 2 bad late game decisions. I watched Brandon Staley do it 4 times last year. That's the difference between making the playoffs and not.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not trying to slight them. It's just realistic.
What is their biggest weakness?
The biggest weakness on the roster?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to say it's the offensive line. But even with that, I've watched Russ do this with a bad offensive line. But you got to look at who they're coming up against. I mean, one of the weaker pass rushes you're going to see is Frank Clark and Chris Jones. So that really puts that under a microscope.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is pretty good. I don't love the Randy Gregory thing, and I'm just going to keep saying that. I look at it and go, there are 2 super, in my opinion, overrated pass rushers in the AFC. The only problem is they both play for the same team.
Bradley Chubb and Randy Gregory.
Bradley Chubb can't stay healthy. I mean, I think it's 65 or 70% of the sacks in his career were his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
He has 7 since. That's asking a lot because now there's no Von Miller. So now you have to be the one. You haven't been productive as the 2. And you got Randy Gregory that's really learning a new position because this is not what he's accustomed to. That's a lot. You see what I'm saying? There's just a ton of instability here.
Mm-hmm.
What about you asked what is their biggest deficiency? What does Denver look at and go, this is what we can count on? We know we're going to be good at this. Would you be shocked if Ronald Darby was just a liability as your 2?
No.
Would you be shocked if this team could not stop the run? They've been middling at it for years, and now you just lost Vic Fangio, of which the one thing he could do is coordinate defense.
Right.
It's a complete scheme change. You gonna be shocked by that? You gonna be shocked if there's not one wide receiver that really differentiates themselves as a true one?
No.
That's what makes me nervous. Every other team, high-end team, because I think they are competitor-level talented in the AFC. All of those teams have something that they look at and go, I can count on that. The one I would say with them, I'm counting on a second-year running back and Melvin Gordon, who is over that carries threshold where running backs tend to just fall off a cliff. A lot of instability.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingles, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a
Ingles. All the ingredients for family.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch. I am now over 80 pounds down now on the PhD weight loss program. We've been doing it since Thanksgiving. I've been working the plan. Their healthy nutrition, the protein-based diet that I am on with PhD weight loss has helped me lose over 80 pounds. I cannot be happier with my results, and I owe it all to Dr. Ashley Lucas, the MVP of PhD.
You have been running 5Ks and doing things like that, which that was not really my goal. I've always been athletic. I've always done athletic things. I just wanted to be able to do it and not die for 48 hours afterwards. And thanks to the plan and program at PhD, I'm able to do that. I'm playing golf the same way I did in my early 20s. I'm down to my high school weight, and I haven't felt like this since I was in high school, and it's all thanks to PhD weight loss.
213 pounds after being 295. MyPhDweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
Want something to smile about? Asheville Smiles is hosting Invisalign Day on August 11th to celebrate National Align Your Teeth Day. Now is the best time to save big and get that smile you've always wanted with Dr. Merrill, a master of the smile makeover. Take advantage of the best price in North Carolina at just $4,500 for Invisalign post-treatment retainers plus a 3D scan to simulate your before and after results. To schedule your consultation, visit AshevilleSmiles.com today.
Geico presents Daily Affirmations.
Repeat after me. Our thoughts are like the ocean.
Our thoughts are like the ocean.
Our thoughts create our reality.
Our thoughts create our reality.
We're thinking Geico offers claim service 24/7 with personalised attention from an assigned team.
Geico offers claim service? I wasn't thinking that.
We think it and it becomes our reality.
So, what about washboard abs?
Just give it a go. Think really hard.
Okay, abs.
Yeah, keep thinking.
To manifest more Geico in your life, go to geico.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
NFL training camps, all right, we can say it. They're officially underway. 2 teams had rookies report today. The Buffalo Bills and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Which means, NBA, if you're going to give us a story that we're going to talk about between, I'll go till February, you got about a week.
You better get it underway because veterans will be reporting in a week from today to both of those camps. We've got a couple more kicking off tomorrow. But it's going to be tough sledding in the AFC West.
Oh, I mean, the AFC West is just, that's the best division I've ever seen in football. The only thing that can sidetrack any of those teams is injuries and the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, somebody has to go 5-12. It's just the way it works. Look at how these conferences have broken down for the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to be bad. There are only a couple teams in this conference that I look at and go, you're bad. The Jacksonville Jaguars are bad.
Right.
The Houston Texans are not great.
Mm-hmm.
They have enough veterans that they will at least be vaguely competitive, and I like Davis Mills. The Jets are much more talented, but you're not going to go great for you either.
Right.
There's usually 4 teams that finish 6 wins or less. Who's 4?
Ooh.
It gets very question. Pittsburgh Steelers, Denver Broncos. It's going to be one of you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can't go 8-9 and 9-8.
Right.
So, and there's just a lot of instability with the. There's a lot of instability with the Denver Broncos that bothers me. Angry Browns fan in our YouTube comment said, besides quarterback, have the Broncos really fixed any of the problems that they had last year? The coach. I said for 2 solid years, this is the worst coach I've ever seen in the NFL. He does nothing well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like I said, no matter how bad Nathaniel Hackett is, his non-Vic Fangio-ness is worth 1 win over the course of this season.
Right. I said last year that I felt like Denver was a team that was a quarterback away from making the playoffs. And because of what all has happened in that division, I can't say that. Immediately when the trade happened, I thought, it's happened. They are now a playoff team.
They have playoff talent.
But then you had the additions of the other teams, with the Raiders picking up Devontae Adams and J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack going to the Chargers. You had all of these things happen around them. I want to say they're a playoff team.
They could be the one seed in the NFC, and it wouldn't shock me in the least.
Mm-hmm.
They could miss the playoffs in the AFC, and it wouldn't shock me in the least.
Right.
That is the discrepancy between these two. That is not overstated. I've literally talked to half a dozen people in this league. Who's the seventh best team in the NFC? I've yet to get the same answer a second time. I've heard the Saints. I've heard the Vikings. I've heard the Panthers. I've heard practically every team that's not the Atlanta Falcons at some point. But it's for the exact opposite reason that I hear different names in the AFC.
It's because there aren't as many good teams in the NFC.
No, in the AFC, everybody has a reason to be hopeful. Name me the team in the AFC you just look at and go, you have nothing to be excited about. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah,
there ain't one.
There's not one.
In the NFC, there's 5.
I mean, even the Houston Texans have something to look forward to.
Yeah, they could have a franchise quarterback who is half man, half giraffe.
Mm-hmm. One of those teams in the NFC we'll be talking about coming up in the next hour.
Another comment from our YouTube comments from Eric Bradley. He said, Dabo Sweeney raised $375,000 for breast cancer. I'll still make fun of the suit, but I understand why you did it.
Yeah, good for you. Glad he did it.
I mean, and frankly,
Maybe
I would do it. This is a man that did the last 20 picks of a draft shirtless one time for charity.
We'll get you
a
hot pink neon blazer.
I'd wear it.
That you'd wear?
I'd wear it.
Mm-hmm.
And between the mullet and just my personality.
Oh God, you'd be like cut right out of the 80s.
And
gross. I don't know what's grosser, you or Cameron Smith's mustache.
Equal. Separate but equal. Ian.
Because I believe Cameron Smith's mustache is the girl that put cigarettes out on your couch.
No, but I understand the comparison.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll talk Desean Watson, regrettedly, coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Chances for those showers and thunderstorms in the early going here. Patchy fog late. We're going to drop temperatures back to around 65. Early fog, of course, for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies. Temperatures going up to the mid-80s. Maybe some scattered storms on the way for the afternoon. Still a possibility for scattered storms Tuesday night. And we've got chances for afternoon storms Wednesday. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 88 for the high. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by News Nation. Want the news without the noise? News Nation is news for all America, reporting all sides. No spin and no agendas. Go to newsnationnow.com/join us to find News Nation on your television provider.
You should be watching the World Cup right now, but you're not. Want to know why? Well, it's an interesting story, a mix of true crime, political scandal, and slow simmering corruption. You'll hear all about it on our new podcast, The Lords of Soccer, How FIFA Stole the Beautiful Game. I'm Connor Powell. The 12-part series from iHeartRadio and Inside Voices is out now. Listen to The Lords of Soccer on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know you're half as likely to die in a car crash if you wear your seatbelt? Make sure the odds are in your favor and buckle up. Every seat, every time. By buckling up, you avoid a $179 fine, paid for by the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
The Sportsocracy.
Who are we going to cheer for on Sundays now?
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking the bank is not the goal for James Harden with his next contract. Speaking to Yahoo Sports, Harden said he's told 76ers president Daryl Morey to improve the roster, sign whoever they need to sign, and give him whatever's left over. All that matters is competing for a championship, and Harden's willing to take less money to do that. ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins.
I'm all in for this version of James Harden. He's been working out. He's been in the gym. I'm around here in Houston hearing nothing but great things. I'm ready to see him have a bounce-back season. I think it's going to be phenomenal with him and Joel Embiid. I'm ready for their top 3 team in the Eastern Conference right now.
Kendrick Perkins on This Just In. Baseball's home run derby in the spotlight tonight from Dodger Stadium. The Mets' Pete Alonso seeking to become the first player to win the derby 3 straight times. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN TV, and the ESPN app. Dodgers lefty Clayton Kershaw will make his first ever All-Star game start tomorrow for the National League. His first pitch to Angels superstar Shohei Ohtani. Rays left-hander Shane McClanahan counters for the American League.
If you need solid hires fast, you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates from the same place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy, into the Ingles Studio. We're always brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And, of course, the fine folks over at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, who hooked me up with my car that I'm not even allowed to drive today.
Yeah, you showed up without your car, and I went, no, That's not how that was supposed to go.
Well, see, now I had to explain this to my kids over the weekend as well. See, Dad's got the newer car now. Dad's got the nicer car. Now, Dad's going to have to loan his car out to the wife because that's just how that works.
Or there's another path there.
Well,
because they will give you $250 extra on your trade just for being a member of our family. Take your car to 629 Brevard Road. Ask for Devin. He's the guy that does that, and he's a friend of the show. You'll see him in the YouTube comments all the time. They'll give you $250 extra on your trade just for mentioning that you heard about them from us.
I was surprised they gave me anything for mine.
They actually gave you all kinds of more money for your car.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I still want to know what it would cost me to get remnants of your car crushed into a paperweight that could sit on my desk.
I'm sure whoever's crushing it down will cut you a deal.
There is a number that I'm willing to pay for that. I just need to know if that is feasible.
Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah, the Durango is gone. I've got a nice, new to me, certified pre-owned from Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville 2017 Rogue all-wheel drive. I absolutely love it. It's got all the bells and whistles. I don't have a tape player anymore. It does have a CD player in it, but I have not used it yet because my
what are you
going to
do with your old? What are you going to do with your old tapes?
I mean, I'll still keep them around.
Can we take them out in the field here at Radio Ranch and go full Office Space?
No,
or I just beat them with a baseball bat.
Those are mementos from a finer time. No,
I don't think your Doobie Brothers CD is a memento of anything. Or tape. It's a tape.
It is a tape. China Grove. It's a little warbled, but still a banger.
I don't think so.
Are you dissing the Doobie Brothers right now?
I'm not going to lie to you. If you told me one song by the Doobie Brothers, it would be the first song that I knew was done by the Doobie Brothers.
I just gave you one, China Grove.
And I've already forgotten it. That's how much I care.
Long Train Running. Taking it to the streets.
All those sound terrible. They all sound awful.
Oh my gosh. You
know who's better than every song you just said? Creed. That was a resounding bell.
Not even close. You are in the Sportsocracy. Don't forget to join us on the YouTubes. You can see us live each and every afternoon at thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can join us in the chat. You can join the House of Reprehensibles as well. We've got Desean Watson news again. So we don't know what the penalty is going to be, or if there's going to be any punishment at all for the accusations that have been levied against Desean Watson. That case is still being arbitrated, and we don't know. But what we do know is that sources are reporting that if it's a year suspension, the NFLPA and Desean Watson will be filing a lawsuit to challenge that suspension.
You remember when I told you that same thing 60 days ago?
I do.
Yeah, and you know why? I didn't get that from my cat. That's been the way this was going to go forever. Mm-hmm. That's the reason that you don't know what the suspension is yet, because there's a possibility it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I did a show this morning with our buddy Snowman in the morning, and I asked a very simple question. If this goes legal, what do you have? Because I want you to think about something. If there was a settlement, that means there's an NDA. That's how settlements work. Which means you can't use any of that in court. So you go to court, and what do? Sit around and look at each other?
Mm-hmm.
There's no criminal proceedings. There's no nothing. This is the problem that I and several people that work in the NFL have had. You don't have a video here. I've heard this compared to Ray Rice about 1,000 times. There was nothing he could say. We have this on video. We've seen you do it. Kareem Hunt, same thing. There's no video here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no evidence that you can put into a trial in a courtroom. So if this goes to court, what exactly are they supposed to base this off of? That's what he's known the entire time. Now, he had to settle it and all of those things, and I'm not saying he didn't do anything wrong. I have no idea. A line we say on the show quite often, we're not cops and we're not lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
But we do understand the judicial process of how exactly would this go? He's threatening to sue because he knows he would win. Because you've got nothing.
But you don't know that.
The settled cases, you have nothing. There is no way he did this without an NDA. None.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not from me. That's from a lawyer that handles things like this.
Okay, so they've settled it, but the NFL can't use any of their
If there's an NDA, they physically can't say anything out loud. It's all hearsay. Because you have to be able to face your accuser in something like this.
Mm-hmm.
They can't comment on it. That's how NDAs work.
But if the NFL's already done their investigation and they've gathered all of this information.
Matter. When you go into court, it has to be able to be put into evidence. The fact you've said it means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go into the courtroom on record and say it. If there's an NDA, you can't do that. And this is not coming from me. I'm not sitting here telling you I'm a lawyer. This is specifically what I was told 2 months ago. If he settles, they've got nothing.
So all of Desean Watson's text messages and all of that the league apparently has, they can't use that in court?
Nope, because they can't be verified by the person that sent it to them. Non-disclosure agreement. They can't say anything. That's how this works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's just, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is exactly the way it will go, and it's exactly what I was told 2 months ago. Of when he starts settling, it's because he knows they're going to come down hard on him no matter what he does. So he's going to do what he can do to go into a courtroom and beat them.
Mm-hmm. The NFL's personal conduct policy is very wide-ranging. I think I even read it to you when all of this happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the league has a lot of
They have a lot of platitude here.
They got a lot of platitude that they can do whatever they want to. And I think I brought this scenario to you last week. So there is a decision to be made by the arbitrator. The judge that's overseeing this case, she could say nothing. She could say there's no penalty warranted here. He's already served time. Then the NFL has no recourse.
Correct.
If she hands down some sort of a penalty and it's too less, like it's too little, it's 4 games, and the NFL wants more. We've already heard the reports that Roger Goodell in the NFL won at least a year. And then the league can appeal, and they can appeal that to the commissioner, who gets to decide. Do you think that this is a strong-arm move by the NFLPA and and Desean Watson to scare the league into not giving him a longer punishment?
The NFLPA is the weakest players association in all of sports. And it's not even kind of close. I have long said there would come a day where this gentleman's agreement they have with the player conduct policy would be tested. And what they were going to wait for is a situation just like this, where there's nothing criminal. There's nothing criminal. And so you go back to Bob Kraft. I've already seen somebody say that in the YouTube comments. They're going to use what you've done in the past against you. And I promise you, it's going to look real bad when you go to a judge and go, we have 3 owners in this league that have been accused of a litany of things that you've done 0 to. But you're going to try to suspend me for a year. The owner that controls the team until he decides he wants out of it, me who has a 10 to 15-year playing window. That's not going to play well in front of a judge. It's just not, because there's nothing to lean on. Again, not saying he didn't do anything. I fully believe he did. Mm-hmm. That's my belief. That and $1 US will get me a Coke. And when you go into court, Stephen Tao said it in the comments, no evidence equals no suspension. And I think that's becoming a more realistic thing. Mm-hmm. One of the lines I say all the time, when you hear stories like this, who wanted you to know this? I heard this verbatim same thing 2 months ago. Because he's known the entire time. What are you going to come at me with? Mm-hmm. He said, she said. And I will have 2 words off the tip of my tongue. Ben Roethlisberger. You want to give me 4 games? Okay. Tom Brady, completely different scenario. I get that. Mm-hmm. But it falls under the tenet of the player conduct policy. Mm-hmm. And I have long thought the NFLPA is just sitting back for one of these where you don't have anything. Because this has always been a ridiculously stupid, cyclical thing with Roger Goodell. I mean, you remember how many years we talked about him being judge, jury, and executioner on situations like this? Yeah. Well, now you've edited this to where it goes to a impartial arbitrator, but if you don't agree with their solution, it comes right back to you. Mm-hmm. That's not how this works. In the comments, we're getting a litany of players that have also had this. Yeah, that's exactly what the lawyers are going to do. Mm-hmm. Ezekiel Elliott, how many games did he serve? Okay.
Was it 6?
2.
I thought it was longer than that.
It may have been 6.
Yeah.
For me, it's a year, or I don't. I thought it was 2, but I could very well be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not going to be a year. That's he's not going to accept that, and that's what I said long ago. He doesn't have to, because it doesn't make any sense. There's no precedent for you to reside on that. Everybody that's ever gotten a year, there was not just evidence, there was video evidence. Mm-hmm. There was no way you were getting away from this.
Right.
That's not what you have here. Now, this is a more heinous crime than some of the things that we have seen people be suspended for. This is how the NFL gets into a catch-22. There's no win here. I mean, you tell me the number that you think everybody's going to be happy with.
There's not.
If it's not a year, there's going to be a percentage of the fan base that thinks you went too light on a star quarterback because it's better for the league that way.
Absolutely.
And there's going to be a percentage of the fan base that if you go too heavy-handed, they're going to say, well, why did you not do this to the owners? Why did you not do this to other players that this has happened to? Mm-hmm. Why are you singling out Desean Watson? Mm-hmm. There's no win here. And I've always said this is one of those things that Roger Goodell could have fixed this problem years ago. And now you've nestled it right in your lap, and you can't win.
But how could he have fixed it?
Give this to anybody else. This doesn't come back to me ever. Because then it's off me.
Yeah,
this is not my decision anymore.
But there again, that would mean he'd have to give up some of the power.
And that's fine.
What do we know about guys in power? They don't like giving up the power.
And here's the problem. You come into this situation where Roger Goodell works for the owners. So when your scene is going lighter on the owners than you are on the players, what are they going to say? That's not fair. And how are you going to fight that? Mm-hmm. Because they're 100% right. They're 100% right. At the end of the day, he has been convicted of nothing. So was there wrongdoing? I feel very certain with as much smoke as we've seen that there was probably fire. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how you're going to prove that.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic crawling 40 eastbound between Newfound Road and George's Branch Road near Canton due to an accident. The roadway closed 40 on the westbound side here. Also crawling between George's Branch Road and Newfound Road. 26 westbound is slow, approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 240 West End eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic volume very busy. Smoky Park Highway moving well. Patton Avenue, no delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver traffic.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Log on to ESPNABL.com.
I am now over 80 pounds down now on the PhD weight loss program. We've been doing it since Thanksgiving. I've been working the plan. Their healthy nutrition, the protein-based diet that I am on with PhD weight loss has helped me lose over 80 pounds. I cannot be happier with my results, and I owe it all to Dr. Ashley Lucas, the MVP of PhD.
You have been running 5Ks and doing things like that, which that was not really my goal. I've always been athletic. I've always done athletic things. I just wanted to be able to do it and not die for 48 hours afterwards. And thanks to the plan and program at PhD, I'm able to do that. I'm playing golf the same way I did in my early 20s. I'm down to my high school weight, and I haven't felt like this since I was in high school, and it's all thanks to PhD weight loss.
213 pounds after being 295. MyPhDweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
All right, where are we going for breakfast?
I kind of want a breakfast quesadilla.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing quesadillas for breakfast these days.
Well, Taco Bell is.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, they have this Bell breakfast box now that comes with this breakfast quesadilla that's super cheesy and a hash brown.
Okay, wish I knew about this earlier.
And it has Cinnabon Delights and a coffee in it.
Why did I not know about this earlier?
Try the new $5 Bell breakfast box, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations during breakfast hours only, 7 to 11 a.m. for a limited time. Contact local store for prices and participation with vary. Tax extra. Drinks exclude freezes.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football.
All right, training camps are right around the corner. Coming up after the next break, and weird news, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears. And no, again, it was not. I was not aware when I wore my Chicago Bears jersey in here today that we were going to be talking about the Chicago Bears. But hey, here we are. It's the universe telling us it's time to talk about the Chicago Bears. So we'll preview their dismal season coming up in just a little bit here.
We also need to preview your team because one of your players apparently showed up real big.
Well, I mean, you know, it's one of those things. When you go on vacation, it's easy to add a couple 40 pounds. What the heck is happening? So Leonard Fournette, reports are today that the coaches were not happy with him because he didn't participate in OTAs. And then he showed up to the mandatory minicamp weighing 260 pounds.
And this is not just some random person that said this. This is longtime Buccaneer beat writer Rick Stroud.
Yeah, Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times says that he showed up at 260 pounds. He is listed at 226. So either, I mean, because most of the time, what do you say? Most of the time, do teams over-exaggerate or under-exaggerate or undersell weights?
Depends on which. If you come in heavy, they tend to undersell it.
Okay. So if they listed Leonard Fournette at 226.
He probably played somewhere between 220 and 230.
Okay, so.
At his size and his bulk, none of that's a discrepancy. You would look at, are they listing the weight correctly on somebody like Mekhi Becton, he's probably 370 when he's in good shape.
Right, who's a house.
They're not going to list him at 410, which is what he allegedly was at times last year.
Right.
Stroud's exact quote, this was on his podcast because everybody has one of those. The last time we saw Leonard Fournette, he was about a donut shy at 260. He certainly didn't look like a guy who could play every down.
And it's not good news for somebody who your quarterback just stuck his neck out for you and got you a, 3-year, $25 million contract.
And that was my fear with when you paid him. My fear with Leonard Fournette is, A, he's not nearly as good as he's made out to be. B, the tread on the tires is not nearly as deep as you want to claim it is.
Mm-hmm.
C, I've already seen this once, and he showed up big. At the end of the day, this is who he is. Leonard Fournette is a guy that we will look at in the pantheon of time as a huge draft bust that had immense talent, and his work ethic left a little bit to be desired. I mean, am I being fact or fiction there?
I think it's mostly fact. Some guys you can look at and go, well, I don't need you to be the I don't need you to be the training camp warrior. I don't need you to be the hit it out of the park in practice every day guy, because you bring it when you're on the field. And Lenny does.
Does he though?
Yeah, he does.
Does he though? Does he though?
Yeah. I mean, he had a pretty good year last year.
He was fine. I don't know if it's what it's made out to be. I mean, you do
don't know
realize
if it's $7.5 million worth.
I don't think any running back's worth that. So I'm probably a bad person to ask that to.
Oh, come on. Jonathan Taylor not worth that?
He's on a rookie deal. I don't have to decide that for 2 more years. I mean, Leonard Fournette's gone over 1,000 yards twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. I've never really seen it. You and I and Cowboy Zach Hurst used to argue about Leonard Fournette on a weekly basis.
All the time.
Because I will tell you, for what he was supposed to be to what he is a cataclysmic bust.
Oh, yeah. He was supposed to be what Derrick Henry has become.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's just not that.
And he's just not.
He's still a powerful runner.
He's a good running back in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many running backs I could say that about? 40. I just don't get it. And they rave about Rachaad White, who they just took in this last draft.
Right.
And then you show up overweight. Tell me you don't care without telling me you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
There are just certain positions in this league you can't show up heavy. Offensive tackle, you can show up heavy. You're a big guy anyway.
Definitely.
We'll figure that out. All right? We knew that when we drafted you. Humans are not meant to be 6'5", 310. So we knew there was a possibility that you were going to be a little chunky.
Mm-hmm.
Running back, you have the shortest career span of any player in this league. Then we pay you and you show up fat. This is not a spicy take. This is an indictment on who you are. And then I look back at what you did in Jacksonville. When the team was bad, your attitude was too.
Mm-hmm.
And you were a large part of that from everything I've ever been told. It's who you are. I mean, you get to a point with running backs, this is who you are. It doesn't surprise me anymore. And people, this is the Tom Brady theory. People think just being around Tom takes away all of your ills. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But he does have a lot of sway. And I'm pretty sure that he's already had the talk with Leonard.
Oh, I'm sure he has.
Okay, you're on the TB12 diet.
And I'm sure he was super scared of him, that he got him the deal because that's what Tom wanted.
Absolutely.
And then he showed up fat. So, yeah, he sounds super terrified of Tom. But this is what I've said about your team. People think that I slight the Bucs because I have a Tom Brady complex.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I know what he is. He's haunted my nightmares for 20 years. The problem is that I'm looking at Tampa Bay going, this is death by 1,000 paper cuts. losing Gronk. Chris Godwin's not going to be back till the midpoint of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You're losing Ndamukong Suh. Was he a great, impactful player? No. But now you're counting on a guy that doesn't know this scheme and plays a very vital position to this scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And you just keep doing this. It's one thing when you got, one of those. It's one thing when you've got 2 of those. When you have 9, I don't really care what you have under center. Right. There are too many good teams in this league. And I'm sure there's part of Tom Brady that's looking around going, all right, we're going to have to talk. Because I am the ultimate competitor, and there are a lot of things happening around here that I'm not real fond of.
Right.
I mean, do you disagree with anything I just said?
I mean, I don't feel like we have 9 problems, but there's a couple. And I don't know. I just feel like when Tom came in, the culture changed. He was able to get everybody to buy in. He was able to get everybody to believe that we can be champions and all of that. And now it's almost as if that's wearing off.
Because that's what happens.
Right. Everybody's getting used to the fact, we're champions. We don't have to worry about the little things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got Leonard. I don't know where his head's at. I don't know what he's thinking. But
it sounds like his head's been somewhere around a buffet line.
Right.
I mean, Leonard Fournette outweighs me at this point.
Right. He's been hanging out with Zion Williamson at Popeyes. That's all I could think. Like, come on, guys. 260 pounds, there's no excuse for that. You gained 30 pounds in 3 months?
But you got to understand, we talk about this with the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
The Baker Mayfield thing, you draft Baker. That wouldn't be such a big deal, except you're the Browns. This is what you do.
Right.
At the end of the day, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, over the 50 years of their existence, have been a dumpster fire far more often than they have been a put-together franchise.
Absolutely.
You can throw that TB12 Band-Aid on it all you want to. There are issues from the top down.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Lenny
Tom fixes a lot of those.
Yeah, I don't know if Lenny came in thinking, you know what, Tom's got my back and I can do whatever I want to because Tom says it's okay. I'm pretty sure Tom's not okay. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up next, we'll get weird, and then we'll talk about the Chicago Bears.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Chances for those showers and thunderstorms in the early going here. Patchy fog late. We're going to drop temperatures back to around 65. Early fog, of course, for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies. Temperatures going up to the mid-80s. Maybe some scattered storms on the way for the afternoon. Still a possibility for scattered storms Tuesday night. And we've got chances for afternoon storms Wednesday. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 88 for the high. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Heading to the lake this weekend and need a truck to tow your boat? Everyone knows you get a better deal down the mountain at Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. New truck inventory arriving daily. Visit us online at marioncdjr.com or in person on Worley Road in Marion.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 40 westbound between Smoky Park Highway and Georges Branch Road. 40 westbound, then crawling between Georges Branch Road and Newfound Road. 40 on the eastbound side in Haywood, stop and go between Newfound Road and Georges Branch Road. Accidents in this area. 26 westbound, slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Marion, US 221, near Goose Creek Road, an incident causing congestion. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound, near Mills Gap Road, delays. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Is it just sneakers that sneak into your mind, or is it your kind of creativity from the midsole to your very soul before you unfold a vision on the XPS? Get into your universe at Dell.com/XPS, verified for exceptional experiences with Intel Evo platform.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Choosing Sides, F1. A podcast about... What are we doing here, Lily?
Well, you're in the right place, Michael. I'm Lily Herman, Formula One expert.
And I'm Michael Costa, comedian, and I'm just going to be honest here, complete F1 newbie.
On this inaugural season of Choosing Sides, we're tackling the historic and controversial sport of Formula One race car driving.
Who are these drivers? Rich kid? Daddy issues.
Daddy issues galore. Listen to Choosing Sides F1 on the iHeartRadio app
or wherever you get your podcasts.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Well, Leonard Fournette comes into training camp at 260 pounds, apparently. Maybe he was just wearing a fat suit like James Harden did. I don't know. But maybe here's a plan that he could get down with. A personal trainer from Indiana named Nathaniel Nolan says he has gotten ripped over the last year. For 326 days, he has been doing a one-of-a-kind exercise that he says he thinks can help everybody not only lose weight, but also, reduce your pains and stuff after you've been exercising or after you've done certain exercises. He's been walking around like a dog for 30 to 45 minutes a day.
Excuse me?
Yes, he's been walking around on his hands and feet like a dog for 30 to 45 minutes a day. He says if you do it for 10 minutes, you can burn 100 calories. That's what he says. That's what he says. He said not only did he get ripped by doing this, but that he also helped his performance in some other things that he likes to do. He likes to do various calisthenics and things, and he says his private life has benefited greatly as well. He's got much more dexterity in his wrists. Which I don't know, I don't want to get it.
There's so many jokes.
Getting into it.
There's so many jokes. I can make 4 off the top of my head. Please move on.
Mr. Nolan, we don't need to know how ambidextrous you have become in your private life by walking like a dog for 30 to 45 minutes a day. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the videos of this guy doing this are just, why would you do that?
Were any of them shot in downtown Asheville?
No. He would have been wearing a collar if that was the case.
Yeah.
No, but here, I do have one big pointer for Leonard Fournette, though. PhD weight loss. PhD weight loss is the perfect way to lose weight and lose it pretty quickly. 6 months of doing the PhD weight loss program, just a little over, and I have lost over 80 pounds. I am now down into the almost to the 210 range, so I'm almost reaching that light heavyweight ranking.
You're at 205. That's where you got to get to.
Yeah,
and you're not far from it.
I'm not far from it, and it's one of those things that you commit yourself to the plan. It's not that hard to do. All you have to do is just follow the plan that they give you. They give you 80% of the food that you need to have success on the program. You follow their diet, no strenuous exercise. You don't have to walk like a dog like that trainer from Indiana. All you have to do is follow the plan, and you're going to lose the weight.
I didn't have as much weight to lose as Tank. I had always been reasonably athletic. One of the problems I had run into was my back was starting to hurt and I wasn't sleeping well. 6 months, I'm back to my high school weight. I'm sleeping like a baby, and the aches and pains have gone away, and it's all thanks to the program and plan at PhD Weight Loss.
And if you are an athlete looking to lose some pounds, it's great to have a program that was designed for athletes by a former athlete. Dr. Ashley Lucas has the perfect plan. Go to myphdweightloss.com. myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
My weird story comes from England, the United Kingdom. Apparently, it is insufferably hot. High 30s to possibly 40 degrees Celsius. As is the case with most Americans, I don't have even the foggiest of a clue what that means. But it sounds hot. I don't know. The conversion, I don't know it off the top of my head, but it sounds hot. A cinema in the UK is trying to think of people that are not well equipped for these temperatures.
Okay.
My people.
Your people.
The ginger people.
Oh, I thought you were talking about fat mulleted guys.
Also my people.
And also my
There's a cinema in the UK that is offering free movie tickets to any ginger-haired individual today and tomorrow. You are limited to 1 seat per day per ginger, which I am one, so I can say that's totally fine.
Well, that's not fair. It's going to be hot all day. Why can't I just hang out all day?
Well, because that's not how it works. They're doing a nice thing. You cheap individual you.
Indeed.
Don't try to take advantage of this. It's very specific shows, but all you have to do is show up, kind of point to your face and go, I would like my free ticket now.
Right.
And as somebody that burns quite easily, I must say, thank you.
Interesting.
All we get is jokes. Nobody looks out for us, okay?
Free movie tickets for gingers because it's so hot.
Jason Trump said 40 degrees Celsius is around 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay. That's hot.
That's hot.
That is very hot. Training camps getting underway in the NFL. Rookies reporting today for the Buffalo Bills and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chicago Bears are next up on the list here, and this one should be quick and painless.
Unlike slow and painful.
I was going to say, unlike what the actual 2022 regular season is going to be for the Chicago Bears, because they are god-awful at football.
They may have the worst offensive line I've ever seen.
Worst ever?
Maybe the worst one I've ever seen. I've seen expansion teams that had better offensive lines than this. And this goes back to, and look, I'm not taking pride in this, but I do like being right more than I like being alive.
I was going to say.
I told you when you traded up for Justin Fields, losing that capital is going to be the thing that puts a death nail in his career.
Yes.
Because this kid needed a lot of things to go the right way. Not because he's not a good quarterback, not because he's not athletic, not because he's not talented, but because he came from a place in Ohio State. You ever notice that their quarterbacks tend to go into the NFL and flame out?
Yep.
You know why? It's the same reason that USC quarterbacks did the same thing in the early 2000s.
Because they have everything around them.
When you have that much talent, you don't have to learn how to run an NFL offense. And I got news for you. If you watched the 2021 season with Justin Fields and you saw anything that told you high-level NFL quarterback, I got a bridge to sell you because I didn't see it, and this team is drastically worse.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even decent defensively. They have 2 players on defense that I look at and go, that's a high-level starter in this league.
Okay, Robert Quinn.
And Roquan Smith. I like Jalen Johnson, but there's for all of the good, there is some bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a couple other pieces, but in large part, this is not an NFL roster.
No.
And you look at the weapons and just go, good Lord, do you hate this kid?
This would be the best team in the XFL. And it might be close. You got Justin Fields back there with a pretty good running back room. We can say that their running game's going to be decent.
And unfortunately, the line's not going to do you any favors.
David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert backing him up. And then you look at the weapons and go, I got Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney's their one right now.
And End
of message. Repeat the line.
Yeah. End message on Darnell Mooney. Because then you go Byron Pringle, N'Keal Harry, Velus Jones, who's a rookie out of Tennessee.
And I like him, but he's a developmental piece. That's the thing that I never understood about this. You need vet talent on this team. And what did you do? You took flyer after flyer after flyer. Velus Jones is the kind of player that a team like the Green Bay Packers should have drafted. Or the Minnesota Vikings, which is where I had him penciled in for 6 of the 43 mock drafts I did last year. It's not here. You should not be counting on this kid for anything. N'Keal Harry, reclamation project. He should be coming in as your 5 and trying to earn reps.
Instead, he's your 2.
2 or 3.
Right.
And I just look at this and go, there's no win here. And then you look at the schedule and go, do you realize that virtually every team they play has a no-doubt lockdown corner? I went through the schedule of the 17 games they play, 12 of them are against teams that have high-end number 1 corners that I can just drape Darnell Mooney. He was good as a 2. You know what tends to happen to 2s that become 1s?
Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's exactly right. When I don't have the high-end guy to take coverage away and I can just drape you, you tend to become non-existent. This is why free agent wide receiver additions tend to not go well, because you cast 3s as 2s and 2s as 1s. That's what this whole team is. They have a weapon offensively. And it would be one thing if I looked at this roster and you had Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins or a high-level quarterback in this league. You have a kid that's still trying to figure out how to play this game that got absolutely smoked last year on a regular basis. And I go back to something that I just said about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You can put lipstick on a pig in this league all you want to. At the end of the day, you are who you are. The New York Jets, they tend to just blow up good offensive talent. The Chicago Bears keep throwing darts at a board trying to find a quarterback, and it's just like a lather, rinse, repeat. Hope, despair, try again. And you're in stage 2 of this.
Yep.
I will say I don't think Justin Fields was a no-doubt bust in this league. Had he gone to New England? Maybe. Still wouldn't love the weapons, but I would have had Bill. I would have had Bill. I at least have faith that this organization has the structure to do the things that you need to do. Look how much is put on this kid's shoulders. He was a 2-year starter in college. And now you have to be the savior of my franchise? You have to go up against 15 teams that are better than you, no doubt better than you.
Right.
And you have to lead me to this? There's no shot.
And I got a first-year head coach who's defensive-minded, by the way. And
which still makes no sense.
And I've got a first-time offensive coordinator in Luke Getsy. So, I mean,
I like Luke Getsy.
Sure, Luke Getsy, sure. And there's a lot of people that respect him, a lot of people that say he's going to do a great job. The problem is he doesn't have any weapons to work with here. The best offensive lineman that the Chicago Bears have is a guy that they drafted last year who didn't even play.
And I don't agree that that's their best offensive lineman.
You didn't like Tevin Jenkins at the beginning.
I liked him as a right tackle, which is not what he's playing. It's just this is what happens. We were calling for Ryan Pace's job 2 years ago. We were calling for Matt Nagy's job 2 years ago. And this is just the culmination of what happens when you wait too long. You draft a quarterback that nobody in this organization now is tied to. I really need you to understand that. And this was a divisive player anyway. Virtually every scout I knew had different takes on him. And most of them were, he can succeed. He can be good. But you're going to have to give him every advantage humanly possible. He has none.
Nope.
He has a good tight end. End of message. Repeat the line.
Right. The Chicago Bears are my favorite to pick number 1 next year in the NFL draft.
They are mine too. Now, and here's where I think this becomes really interesting. If they do, they take quarterback?
Yes.
I think you have to.
When you have the ability to bring in a Bryce Young or a C.J. Stroud, which...
Oh, it'd be Bryce Young. You're not going back to that Ohio State quarterback. Well, that would be a tough sell.
That is true. That is true. I was going to say, I like C.J. Stroud more than Bryce Young, but it's not by leaps and bounds.
Bryce Young has one big drawback that I really don't like.
What's that?
He absolutely refuses to run.
Okay.
That bothers me.
Okay.
I haven't seen that very often. Usually young quarterbacks do that too often.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do it at all.
This will be the closest thing we've seen to the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, Josh Rosen scenario.
And you know what's sad? I really believe. All right, let's just we'll play the 365 days from now game. I feel like if the Bears have the number one pick, they do one of two things. They either draft the best edge rusher I have ever evaluated in Will Anderson, which, by the way, does absolutely nothing to help Justin Fields. Or they tap out. They take the quarterback. Justin Fields gets sent out somewhere else as a third-year quarterback on a rookie deal. And depending on the team he goes to, I can see him being successful. If he goes to the Minnesota Vikings, I can see him being successful.
Really?
Because you got Kevin O'Connell and you got weapons.
Yeah.
I have Justin Jefferson. I have Adam Thielen. I have all the things around it, and I have a team that's drafted competently. And I like Ryan Poles. I think he's a very good GM. The problem is that he was dealt such a raw hand of, I have to patchwork this team around a quarterback that I'm afraid will break. How many quarterbacks have we watched? Mark Sanchez, David Carr, Achilles Smith, Joey Harrington, just four off the top of my head. They get hit so many times that you get gun shy. The most tantalizing part of Justin Fields was that he played with a bit of a reckless abandon. You keep getting hit like this, that will stop. And if you don't play that way, then there's really no perk to you. You were not overly accurate.
Right.
You had a decent enough deep ball arm that I thought was grossly overrated. But the fact that you were so athletic, well, if you get tentative doing that, you're just another guy. Now you're not even a high-level prospect. You're a reclamation project. And that's why none of this ever made sense.
I am thinking of one team that's going to lose their quarterback next year. Could probably do with a new quarterback.
You're a dumpster fire, too.
Oh, stop it.
You're a dumpster fire, too. You'll get Kyle Trask, and you'll like it.
No. Justin Fields, he is in one of the worst positions of a rookie quarterback in the NFL that I can think of off the top of my head in recent memory.
And I feel bad for Bears fans. I mean, I really do. This is a good, loyal fan base that you have put up with a lot of nonsense. And the bad thing is the bad decisions that you allowed to go. Matt Nagy. Nobody looked at that and went, this is a great idea.
No.
That was a bad hire when you made it, and the fact that you let it go on for an extra year put you an extra year behind the eight ball. Ryan Pace, name me the player he drafted that you go, yeah, that was great. That was fantastic. Jalen Johnson?
Roquan.
And then?
Roquan.
Did he draft Roquan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's a linebacker, so I'm not jumping up and down about it, but he's a talented linebacker.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean, I'll be really honest with you. If you couldn't look at Roquan Smith and go, hey, you're going to be able to play in this league, you should probably find a job that involves less thinking.
Point well taken.
But and I feel bad for these. We get a lot of Bears fans in the comments of videos we do, and I feel bad for them. They get very defensive. You're in the same boat that my team's in. Trust me, if anybody sympathizes with you, it's me. But there's not a whole lot of upside here.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to throw them as much as I can. I wore my Bears jersey today, thinking, maybe that gives some hope, because that's the best I got. Because I feel like the best this franchise has had for 40 years is going, hey, you remember what we did 40 years ago?
Hey, you remember the Super Bowl shuffle?
Right.
That was fun.
Right.
We are the Bears. Super Bowl.
Ever since 1985. I mean, they did make a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as their quarterback. But nobody believed that was going to happen, right?
No, because that was a prodigious defense.
Right.
And you don't have any of those things. And the bad thing is, you're at a time in the NFL where virtually every team in this league has hope. There are two hopeless teams I can think of.
Chicago Bears and Atlanta. Oh, okay.
I see no hope for either one of them.
Well,
a year from now, great, we're going to have a boatload of money and the ability to draft a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. Neither one of you is really a franchise or a free agent destination. You both have really high tax rates, which doesn't work well, so you're going to have to overpay in the first place. And then do you try to ride with the quarterback that you drafted, or do you try to spin the wheel of destiny again?
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Bears, they got that number one with a bullet written all over them. Only this ain't the music business, and that ain't a good thing.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 40 westbound between the 26-240 split, Malfunction Junction, and Smoky Park Highway. 40 westbound then stopped between Smoky Park Highway and Newfound Road. 40 on the eastbound side, traffic stopped between exit 27 and Newfound Road. An accident has both directions of this interstate shut down at Newfound Road. Detour in place, follow directions of on-scene personnel. 26 westbound is stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound light delays between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Near Canton, US 1923 northbound is stop and go between Blackwell Drive continuing to the Smoky Park Highway as motorists attempt to avoid delays on I-40 east and westbound. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Is it just sneakers that sneak into your mind, or is it your kind of creativity from the midsole to your very soul before you unfold a vision on the XPS? Get into your universe at Dell.com/XPS, verified for exceptional experiences with Intel Evo platform.
Make this the year you go to our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Friday, September 23rd and Saturday the 24th. Buy your tickets now at AXS.com.
Stream it free on the CW app and CWTV.com.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival is connecting all of us.
Hyundai is a proud partner of the 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival. When it comes to electric vehicles that go the distance, we're thinking of every mile. Hyundai, it's your journey.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey.
I found a path that worked for me.
1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible. Visit cdc.gov/stopoverdose to learn more about the various paths to recovery.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingles, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingles,
See you later, Dad.
all the ingredients for family.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
All right, coming up after the Sports Center update at the top of the hour, it's time for the Daily Draft. And today's Daily Draft first pick is going to go to me because I'm winning the poll. From the tight end draft that we did on Friday, the group has decided my draft class was better, which kind of surprises me, knowing that I threw the curveball of Darren Waller at number one.
I'm shocked as well, but this is one time that I'm perfectly okay with it.
So I get the number one pick in today's draft, where we'll be doing edge rushers, the top 10 list that came out from ESPN, the 50 execs and coaches that were polled. They had TJ Watt as their number one, which I don't think anybody can argue with. 22.5 sacks last year. I think he did pretty well. Myles Garrett at 2, Nick Bosa at 3, Joey Bosa at 4, Max Crosby rounded out the top 5. Any qualms with any of those guys?
Not really. This is one of the few lists that I looked at and went, yeah, I don't really have any. I don't have a qualm here.
Well, then you had Von Miller coming in at number 6. And I don't know. I mean, I get he's still an elite pass rusher in this league, but is he still top 10?
Yeah, he's still top 10. Did you fall asleep during the Super Bowl run, or?
No.
Here would be my question. Who's supposed to be ahead of him?
That's a good question.
There you go.
That is a good question, because the rest of the list goes Chandler Jones at 7, Brian Burns at 8, which that feels a little high, but maybe not. Khalil Mack at 9, Cameron Jordan at 10. I might have Cameron Jordan higher than that. Above Von Miller?
I'm not.
You wouldn't?
But, I mean, it's close. I don't really I wouldn't object to anybody in that second 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's that top 5 that I'm looking at going, that's the right
those
5.
Those are the 5. No doubt.
I've always thought Chandler Jones got kind of a raw deal,
especially
being in Arizona where just nothing was stable. And now he's going to go to the Raiders and show you exactly who he is. On the opposite side of Max Crosby.
No. It's going to be a great tandem.
Sorry, Russ. You left Aaron Donald and Von Miller. You show up for Max Crosby and Chandler Jones.
Mm-hmm. And then you got Bosa and Mack with the Chargers. And the Chiefs they're still doing stuff.
I mean, Chris Jones is still very good at football.
He is very good. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville Daily Draft. Coming up next after Sports Center. Stick with us.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Chances for those showers and thunderstorms in the early going here. Patchy fog late. We're going to drop temperatures back to around 65. Early fog, of course, for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies. Temperatures going up to the mid-80s. Maybe some scattered storms on the way for the afternoon. Still a possibility for scattered storms Tuesday night. And we've got chances for afternoon storms Wednesday. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 88 for the high. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 40 westbound between the 26-240 split, Malfunction Junction, and Smoky Park Highway. 40 westbound then stopped between Smoky Park Highway and Newfound Road. 40 on the eastbound side, traffic stopped between exit 27 and Newfound Road. An accident has both directions of this interstate shut down at Newfound Road. Detour in place, follow directions of on-scene personnel. 26 westbound is stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound light delays between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Near Canton, US 1923 northbound is stop and go between Blackwell Drive continuing to the Smoky Park Highway as motorists attempt to avoid delays on I-40 east and westbound. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples is your one-stop travel prep destination. Right now, when you purchase any travel service like passport photos, you can get 20% off your purchase. In-store only. Offer ends 7/31. See staples.com/travel for details and exclusions. Get travel ready at Staples, the working and learning store. Summer is here, and Mattress Warehouse has mattresses starting at $99 and more than 30 queen mattresses under $7.99. Don't lose sleep. Mattress Warehouse has a 1-year price guarantee and 0% interest financing store-wide. Make this summer the best yet at Mattress Warehouse.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Being in a position to win an NBA championship is what matters to James Harden at this stage. He told Yahoo Sports he's told 76ers team president Daryl Morey to improve the roster, sign who they need to, and give him whatever's left over in his new contract. Harden added he's willing to take less money to have Philly compete for a title. The Sixers' chance at a championship depends on what version of Harden they get this season, explains ESPN's Tim Bontemps.
To me, it really just comes back to just how good is he going to be able to get to? Is he going to be able to get back to being that guy who had the burst to get to the rim, to get by people, to be explosive and make explosive plays? He did not have that at any point last season. No matter what he's saying now, if he doesn't get back to that guy again, this team's ceiling, even with these additions, is a lot lower than people think.
Tim Bontemps on This Just In. The Mets' Pete Alonso tonight will try to become the first player to win Major League Baseball's Home Run Derby 3 straight times. Coverage 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN TV. Longtime Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw will make his first ever All-Star start tomorrow at Dodger Stadium at home. Rays lefty Shane McClanahan counters for the American League.
The new Venture X card from Capital One. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel, plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Log on to ESPNABL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And the Sportsocracy is live for the third hour here in the Ingles Studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. And, of course, as we do every day, we kick off the third hour with the daily draft. Today we're drafting edge rushers in the NFL after the ESPN list came out, and it was the most boring list of them all. Just nothing really to rip apart.
I'm going to be a little spicier, I think.
Okay.
The early side of this is probably going to be a little chalky, but I've got a couple on the old backside there that
really
feel pretty good about.
Really. Well, we the group, the YouTube group has decided that I won Friday's draft
barely
of the tight ends.
I made a valiant effort to come back. And I'm okay. That's fine.
The tight end class of Darren Waller, Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, Pat Freiermuth, Dallas Goedert, and Mike Gesicki beat out Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Dalton Schultz, T.J. Hawkinson, Dawson Knox, and David Njoku. I guess there's some age questions in there, I guess.
A little salty about that, but it's okay.
It's okay. I get number 1 overall pick in today's draft as we draft the best edge rushers in the NFL. And, of course, the number 1 pick belongs to me, and it's going to the guy that should go number 1, T.J. Watt. 22.5 sacks last year, had a pass rush win rate of like 23%, which is crazy.
Dumb.
It's still like 7th in the league last year, but still. T.J. Watt has come into his own. He's getting a giant bag of money. And I feel like I've already won. I got the best pass rusher hands down in the league.
I'm not going to say hands down.
Hands down.
I'm not going to say hands down.
Okay.
See, this gets complicated for me because now I have to take the 2 that I really, really want because I know you're going to get the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in me says I should go Myles Garrett here. But I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm going to take the brothers.
Oh.
I will take Nick and Joey Bosa.
Both of the Bosas. Okay.
It's like an old school wrestling tag team. If we tell them if you're actually brothers, it makes you a little more impressive for some reason.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the Boses as a tag team, I feel like would be better than the Von Erichs everywhere.
And this is not a slight on Myles Garrett. It's really not. I'm looking at, the two I get are both younger. And I've never seen the two of them with what they're going to have around them.
Mm-hmm.
I like San Francisco way better than most people do. I mean, I don't think nobody could really question me on Joey. I don't feel like. He was my two. That was the one that was no doubt happening.
Mm-hmm.
It was a question of, am I taking Nick or am I taking Myles Garrett? And it's not a slight at Myles Garrett. It's really not. This is an analytical thing of I've seen a lot of talent around Myles Garrett. And I'm looking at Nick going, there's another level in you. There's another level in you, and I think the evaluators see it too. Because his pass rush win rate against double teams is higher than practically anybody in the league.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how you look at it. And there's a bunch of different ways to slice that.
Probably not Aaron Donald.
No, Aaron Donald, but he does not qualify here.
Right.
Which, trust me, I thought about just not asking that question and going, Aaron Donald!
You can't do that. He's not an edge rusher.
Name's on the door. I can do whatever I want to. But I'm a big fan of both of these kids,
mm-hmm.
and I think there's another level. I think we've seen the best of Myles Garrett, and trust me, he's a phenomenal pass rusher, and I hate that he's not going to be on my team.
Mm-hmm.
But the chance to get the two brothers, and one of them gets Khalil Mack on the opposite side of him now, that was more than I couldn't turn that down.
Yeah, the Bosa twins, or not twins,
they're not twins.
The Bosa brothers, excuse me. They're like Irish twins, though. They're like a year apart, right?
I believe so, yes.
I mean, it's close. It's close. But that was a good way to go. However, you did just flop Myles Garrett right in my lap, and
But here's the thing. That was the bad thing about losing this one. I came in at a horrid disadvantage.
Right. So, Myles Garrett, he is obviously the number 4 pick in the edge rusher draft because, I mean, you get extra points for caving a dude's head in with your own helmet. I mean, I'm sorry. Most people look upon that and go, "Oh, that was no good. That was the black eye for the NFL." No, it was a black eye for Mason Rudolph. And you know what? I like my edge rushers with a little crazy in them.
And he's definitely got that. Right. He's also the best dunker in the NFL.
And there's no
unequivocally.
doubt.
Did you see him at Cavaliers Summer League just throwing down hammers?
I did.
Good Lord, he is athletic.
And it makes me wonder, what are the Cleveland Browns doing?
Oh, they've got to look at that. They've got to look at that and go, please stop doing that.
Right.
Could you stop?
I mean,
baseball players get hurt because they step on their pet squirrel, and you're out here throwing 360 windmills down.
I get it's not quite, Ben Roethlisberger riding his Harley around town. But somebody's got to step in and go, okay, Myles, no more pickup games. You got to cut this out. I tell you what, it was right after the season was over and that video dropped on social media of him just doing windmills and all that in the gym against random guys. And I went, well, we know that's a skill he has now. We know Popeye can jump. I mean, and his physique is just so phenomenal. And the athletic ability is off the charts. And like I said, give me a little bit of crazy with that.
He's the one that I'm really sad that I couldn't find a way.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't bypass the Bosa brothers.
And, of course, I know you have to be sad to not get your guy because you were screaming his name last year when I didn't even think he was a decent player in the league. I mean, he was decent, but by no means did I think he had what we saw out of him last year. Max Crosby took a second-year leap, probably unlike any other edge rusher I've ever seen in the NFL. And now he's going to have Chandler Jones on the other side from him, and I expect this year to be only better than last year was.
And I will caution you. Yannick Ngakoue is undervalued because he got a lot of attention. That's one of the reasons that Max Crosby took off to such a point. I'm not trying to slide him at all.
I was going to say
he is a tenacious end.
I was going to say, do you think Chandler Jones won't get that kind of attention?
No, he absolutely will. Just this is going to be a slightly different defense. You have to remember the overhaul of the coaching staff. This is going to look a little different. And I'm not so sure. Look, I've talked about this before. I love that Patrick Graham has looked at this and said, I'm going to build my defense based on the talent we have. I'm not going to fix it into, well, we run a 3-4, we run a 4-3. We're going to be super multiple. And for every player on that defense, that makes me feel just warm and fuzzy, except Max Crosby.
Okay.
Because I really like him as a forward-down lineman, one-on-one. You can't double me because of what's on the other side. You start talking about standing him up, which I've heard more than once. That may not happen. I hope it doesn't. That gets, okay, I don't feel as good as I did before.
Doesn't have the speed to be a stand-up linebacker?
It's a different skill. This is, and we've got, I know Tyler Cunningham does the same thing I do, so he can probably vocalize this better than I can because it's a running joke of people think that just because you're a pass rusher, it means you can do all of the different things. That's kind of like looking at a chef and going, you're a great chef. Can you farm? What is your bedside manner like? Could you possibly be our host? They're just very different skills, and that makes me a little nervous. Chandler Jones has the ability to do that, and that's the other thing that makes me nervous, is I like him better standing up than I do with his hand down. So one of these two guys is going to be put in a position that I don't love. And so for me, I would have done it, but I'm also not saying that you did it.
Right.
Which now brings me back for two selections. And one of them is very, very easy. It's Khalil Mack.
Okay.
But he wasn't as good last year. Yeah, because it was him, Robert Quinn, and 5 dudes that probably should have been sitting in the third chair in here with us. That defense was not very good. That team was dysfunctional.
Aside from Roquan Smith. You left him out again.
It's not that I left him out. It's I had 2 guys to worry about.
Right.
I could really fixate on Khalil Mack. Does it not strike anybody as odd that Robert Quinn's always been a good player in this league? Somehow he's on the opposite end of Khalil Mack and he turns into an all-pro. That not weird to anybody? Because Robert Quinn's getting all the love and all the gravy on his taters, but nobody is valuing that with Khalil Mack. He was one of the most double-teamed players in the league. Now I have him on the opposite side of Mr. Bosa. And that makes me feel pretty good. The problem comes in with the next pick. I'm going to take the commercial break, deciding between 2, and I'll tell you who it is on the other side.
It's the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Check us out at thesportsocracy.com.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
40 east and westbound near Newfound Road in Haywood County, the roadway is shut down due to an accident. 40 on the westbound side, delays begin at the 26-240 split malfunction junction. 40 on the eastbound, traffic crawling begins at exit 27. Motorists attempting to avoid these delays causing heavy delays on US 1923 north and southbound beginning in the Canton area near Blackwater Drive, continuing up to the Smoky Park Highway. Smoky Park Highway southbound, also stop and go between Sand Hill Road and Pisgah Highway as an accident reported here. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 240 westbound is stop and go between Charlotte Street and US 1923 exit 4A. Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road in the Inca Village area, heavy volume. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If your business is feeling a summer hiring wave, then you need Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, We have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Let me hit you with some good news here. I got on my scale this morning, and it said 219 pounds. I am just going crazy over the PhD weight loss program because the pounds continue to fall off. We've been on this program since just before Thanksgiving, and I have lost over 70 pounds. I walked in at 295. It is absolutely blowing my mind.
Tank is quickly approaching light heavyweight status in the UFC, and I'm getting to exactly where I want to be. One of my biggest problems was that I couldn't sleep. I'd gotten so heavy, sleep apnea was wearing on me. And now with the weight that I've lost, I'm back to my high school weight, and I'm sleeping like a baby, and it's thanks to the plan and the food at PhD Weight Loss.
Nutrition is the key to fat loss. 80% of the work comes from changing your nutrition, and PhD has the plan. MyPhDWeightLoss.com. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
I'm back here in the Sportsocracy in the Ingles Studio. Jeremy Greene is on the clock for his second of a back-to-back pick here in the daily draft. We're drafting the best edge rushers in the NFL, and so far, I have T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, and Max Crosby. Jeremy has the Boses, Joey and Nick, and then Khalil Mack. Who is your fourth choice?
This was hard for me, not because I didn't know who I want. I know exactly who I want. I had to play the game of, would he get back to me?
Mm-hmm.
I think he would, but I don't know. So I'm going to take, without a doubt, the best one left on the board. I will take Von Miller.
Von Miller.
If you look at what he did in the postseason, how impactful he was, yes, he had Aaron Donald on the other side. It's not like he's going to Buffalo and they're bereft of edge rushers.
Mm-hmm.
They have a slew of them, and they're young. And I could see a path that this team consistently gets home with 4. You're never really able to double-team him. And the commitment that Buffalo gave, they're obviously not worried about the age.
Yeah.
I saw this in the ESPN story. An unnamed scout said he's going to age better than most. I agree. I said that when they signed the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he had the injury issue, but he even came back from that, and I saw the explosiveness. I'm not overly worried about it, and I really believe in Buffalo.
6 years, $120 million. He's already 33 years old, which means you'll be paying $20 million to a 39-year-old pass rusher by the end of this. I just don't know that I don't know. When have we ever seen an edge rusher that's that seasoned continue to be disruptive? I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I mean, Reggie White was pretty old, but he wasn't Reggie White by the end of it.
No.
In the Carolina Panthers days.
I'm trying to think of guys that didn't take a step back. John Abraham didn't. I only remember that one because I remember sitting there going, man, we sold on him way too early.
Right. But did he make it to 40?
Oh, no, he didn't make it to 40. I mean, nobody's going to make it to 40. That 6-year deal with Von Miller is a 4-year deal. The way that was written, there are all kinds of ways for them to get out of that.
Okay.
So I'm looking at a 4-year run with him, and I think he's so good that I'm just not really worried about it. Von Miller in the playoffs is the most impactful pass rusher in the league, not named T.J. Watt.
Mm-hmm.
Can he give me that 17 games and then 3 in the playoffs? No, probably not. But if I get it for the important games that matter, I'm fine with that.
Right. All right, I'm going to go with my next two picks here to my division, the NFC South. What? Why are your eyes getting all big?
I did not say.
You didn't say anything, but your eyes got all big like that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Nope, I didn't say anything. You do that. you go ahead and do that.
I'm going to because, well, the first guy that I'm going to take from the NFC South plays for No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not taking that guy. I know you probably expected me.
He's closer than you think.
Huh?
He's closer to your list than you think.
Oh, he might be later. Who knows? We do get an extra pick. I'm just saying, if I had to take best pass rusher in the NFC South, I think he resides in New Orleans. Cameron Jordan to me is just a force of nature. I have always liked him. I know he's he's getting up there in age, but he's like a fine wine. I feel like he's only getting better.
I don't disagree with you in any way about that one, to be 100% honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the one that I'm like.
That's not the one that you're. Oh really? You're gonna pick nits with me about Brian Burns?
That's
old Spider-Man himself.
I like Brian Burns. Don't get me wrong. The foot surgery makes me nervous. I don't ever like seeing big humans that have feet issues. As a big human that had feet issues,
right,
it never really goes away. I'm being super nitpicky. He is a tremendous player. Florida State guy. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Here's what makes me super nervous about Brian Burns. You remember that thing I said about Max Crosby of scheme?
Mm-hmm.
That is the number one thing that scares me about him. There's only one way I like Brian Burns. You stand him up, you will hate it. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
I literally wrote that in red ink when I evaluated Brian Burns.
But he does both.
Not nearly as well. He does one superiorly well.
Mm-hmm.
He's so athletic that sometimes he gets a little lost in space if you put him out in space like that.
Right.
Brian Burns is one of those players that I want you to just see quarterback, get quarterback. And I hear Matt Rule and the Panther staff get crushed for a lot of things. That's one of the things that makes me the most, that irritates me the most. He should never drop, ever. But he's long and athletic. Mm-hmm.
Don't care.
Yeah, go back and watch the tape. See quarterback, get quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a pass rusher like that, I really want that to be what you do.
Absolutely.
Now, there's two ways to look at that. I feel like Matt Rule's got one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel in terms of his NFL coaching career. The next coach could realize what he has, and that's going to look like a value 12 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could wind up in a 3-4, and that looks like, uh-oh.
I think Brian Burns can do it all. Maybe he's not as good standing up as he is with his hand in the dirt, but he, like you said, he is just so darn athletic. I killed the pick when they made it because I thought, this kid's too skinny. There's no way that he's going to be able to be an effective edge rusher in the NFL. But he has put on some pounds. He has bulked up pretty well since he's gotten into the league. And I feel like he's another guy that he's 24 years old, and every year you see something different out of him that's like, oh, that's a new move. I don't remember that move last year, but it works. It works. And I don't know that Brian Burns will ever be a guy that, takes home the sack title in the NFL, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for him.
He has ridiculous upside.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. Another fear that I have, and this is, again, when we're doing things like this, you get to this point, there's about 7 guys that I still want.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian Burns would have been one that I would have taken had you let him get back to me.
Right.
The other thing that makes me nervous, I'm afraid they're going to be down a lot, which means that the numbers may never look as impressive as the player looks. Again, picking nits, but that is how I differentiated them.
Okay. All right, Jeremy, your final pick for your top 5 edge rushers in the NFL.
And I just feel warm and fuzzy about this. I just feel warm and fuzzy, and I also am a little unsettled that I have a lot of the same teams. I can't believe Chandler Jones is still here. He is. I think he got hidden with the Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had Chandler Jones ahead of Max Crosby. Not because I think he's a better player. Obviously, the age and things like that. He's so much more scheme versatile. I cannot wait to see how Patrick Graham's going to use him. I think he's going to be the nightmare on this defense that gives the Raiders that slight advantage over the Broncos, who we talked about earlier. He's just such a freakish player.
Mm-hmm.
And he's worked in multiple schemes, and it's looked different. And anything he's been asked to do, he's just been able to do it. He's an elite player. He shouldn't still be here. My last pick is Chandler Jones.
Mm-hmm. 7 seasons since he's been in the NFL, he has double-digit sacks. 7 times. It's crazy good. I can't blame you for that at all. I like those other 2 guys a little bit better. Now it's UDFA time. Undrafted free agent. This is where we count down from 3. Jeremy and I both say a name at the same time. If we say the same name, nobody gets him. If not, we just add to our stable of edge rushers.
I feel like I know what you're going to do.
You think so?
I think I do. But there's a possibility that you're not going to.
You never know.
You know what? I like this guy so much. I feel like you're not going to do what I'm going to do, so I don't really care what you do on the other side.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Trey
Chase Young.
Hendrickson.
Oh, he went Trey Hendrickson. Wait a minute. Wasn't it you that was bashing the Trey Hendrickson signing last year by the Cincinnati Bengals?
New information.
New information. I see what happened.
I have long said I can admit when I was wrong. Chase Young was the other one that I was considering. I was hoping you were going to go Shaq Barrett and just be a true homer.
Hell no. I mean, I love the guy. Maybe if this was an exercise of 8 or 9 guys, I'd put him on my list. But Chase Young, to me, look, we haven't gotten a chance to see it yet.
No, I mean, he got hurt last year. And the ACL thing obviously makes me nervous. That was one of the differentiation plays for me between the 2.
Right.
The other is I have a little bit of a reservation with Chase Young because, there was a time that we were talking about the front 4 in Washington of this is the most terrifying force, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Montez Sweat's a situational pass rusher. That's what he is. So, yeah, on downs where you could pin your ears back, Chase Young is going to be a superhuman pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is how often is that going to happen? How often is Washington going to be ahead and put you into obvious passing downs? Again, I'm nitpicking. Trey Hendrickson is going to get the opportunity to go one-on-one with you much times.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just the differentiator. I really wanted you to go Shaq Barrett. I would have felt so much better. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, you would see me pump my fist and then go, oh, because I heard what you said.
Yeah. No. I thought about it, like I said, if we were doing a few more, Shaq Barrett would probably be next or close to next on my list. Rashawn Gary, I believe, is going to have that kind of a year where he'll be drafted next year.
I'm just curious. If you had to pick another player, who would it have been? Because I almost guarantee you ours are not the same player. You're going 3-dimensional chess if you say the same guy, I would.
I was thinking Josh Allen.
That's exactly who it was.
Right. I don't know. I don't know that he's going to get the big bump.
Look at what's around him on that defense now.
Mm-hmm.
If Trayvon Walker is 70% of what they drafted him to be, and you add in a Luakon and all of the different pieces, my other fear, I have the same fear with him that I have with Chase Young. I'm not sure how often you're going to be allowed to just pin your ears back in obvious passing situations, but I do think he is so unbelievably freak talented.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have an adult coaching that team now instead of old Handy McHanderson, Urban Meyer, he is a player to watch this year legitimately.
All right, Jeremy says the bump is coming for at least one member of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm not as down on Jacksonville. Jacksonville has hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Jacksonville has hope. The Detroit Lions have hope.
You got a Super Bowl winning head coach. You've got the greatest quarterback recruit or prospect that we've ever seen. You've got some good running backs. You overspent on your wide receivers, but you still got some of that, and you got some great players on defense.
There is talent on this team, and having an adult in the room to coach this team that hopefully Shad Khan will stay far away from, there's reason to be excited there.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up next, Don't Do Crimes.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Chances for those showers and thunderstorms in the early going here. Patchy fog late. We're going to drop temperatures back to around 65. Early fog, of course, for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies. Temperatures going up to the mid-80s. Maybe some scattered storms on the way for the afternoon. Still a possibility for scattered storms Tuesday night. And we've got chances for afternoon storms Wednesday. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 88 for the high. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
40 east and westbound near Newfound Road in Haywood County, the roadway is shut down due to an accident. 40 on the westbound side, delays begin at the 26-240 split malfunction junction. 40 on the eastbound, traffic crawling begins at exit 27. Motorists attempting to avoid these delays causing heavy delays on US 1923 north and southbound beginning in the Canton area near Blackwater Drive, continuing up to the Smoky Park Highway. Smoky Park Highway southbound, also stop and go between Sand Hill Road and Pisgah Highway as an accident reported here. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 240 westbound is stop and go between Charlotte Street and US 1923 exit 4A. Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road in the Inca Village area, heavy volume. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has what you need for school at prices that won't hold you back. Now Crayola 10-count markers and 12-count colored pencils are just 99 cents each, and Staples one-subject notebooks are just 35 cents each, in-store only. Offer ends 8/27, limit 30. Don't send your kids back to school. Send them forward at Staples.
Can't believe this new $2 cheesy double beef burrito has all these kinds of cheese going on. Plus nacho cheese sauce. It's like they read my mind when they made this.
Nah, they couldn't have read your mind, because it also comes in spicy, so they must have read my mind.
Are you really getting competitive over whose mind Taco Bell is reading?
Maybe.
Try Taco Bell's new $2 cheesy double beef burritos. Burritos with a 3-cheese blend, nacho cheese sauce, and double the seasoned beef in classic and spicy. At participating stores for a limited time while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra. Double the seasoned beef as compared to beefy melt burrito.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
All right, it's that time where we say, don't do crimes, ladies and gentlemen. Crime does not pay. Or at least if it does pay, it's probably not going to last very long.
Nope.
You're either going to, blow the money and end up, hurting yourself, or you're going to get caught before you can actually enjoy all of the money. Now, Jeremy, you have quite the hilarious crime story today, but I wonder if it's as good as this unidentified man. Houston police and Crime Stoppers in the Houston area offering a $5,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest or capture of a guy who robbed a convenience store just the other day while he went into the store, bought a ski mask.
That's an aggressive strategy.
He went into the store and bought a ski mask, and then, or not a ski mask, it was like a mask like we've been wearing for the COVID stuff.
Oh,
so it's I think it was actually like a painter's mask. It doesn't look like one of those, N95 masks or whatever. But anyway, so he goes into the store, and he goes up to the counter, and he buys the mask. And then he just kind of hangs around in the aisles and then waits for all the customers in the store to make their purchases and exit. And then once they do, the clerk, not thinking anything of this guy who's still loitering around, maybe he didn't see him, maybe the guy was hiding somewhere behind an aisle, he didn't see him. Guy comes out from behind the counter to start stocking some shelves. And that was when the guy decided to put the mask on and draw a weapon and hold up the store. He ended up getting away with an undisclosed amount of cash, but here's the problem. You're already on the security cameras without the mask. Who goes into a store, buys the mask, then puts the mask on in front of said cameras, and then goes, rob you.
Oh, you don't remember what I look like?
They have not yet identified the man, but I'm pretty sure his face is plastered all over Houston media right now, and they're gonna find out who this guy is.
Shouldn't take long, and this segment will continue to happen as long as there are stupid criminals.
Indeed.
Mine is a 31-year-old man in Tampa Bay. He was waiting on a parking spot.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently a car cut him off for that parking spot, at least in his opinion.
Yep.
And he became a little belligerent.
Well, I mean, he was trying to find a parking spot late at night in Ybor City.
Which is difficult to do.
Exactly.
But after this car pulled into the parking spot, this 31-year-old man approached the vehicle, opened the driver's side door, pulled out a gun, and threatened to shoot the occupants.
Mm-hmm.
It was at that time that the two occupants showed him their badges because they were off-duty police officers.
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
And they showed the badges. He ignored them. And he cursed, saying, "I have one in the head." He then got into the cops drove away and sent another officer to tail this person,
of course,
until they could lawfully detain him. Now, here's what I didn't tell you. This 31-year-old person is former NFL tight end Orson Charles.
Mm-hmm.
And where this story gets a little ridiculous is that he's been arrested 2 times before. He got a DUI right before the draft in 2012, which pushed him down the board a little bit, and was also arrested for wanton endangerment in 2014 after a road rage incident in which he displayed a gun at a person who stole a parking spot from him. Okay, there are parking spots all over the place. Maybe this spot's better. Find somewhere else to park.
Orson.
If you're getting that mad in a car, you need to take some things for your anger.
Well, I'm not getting mad at the car. I'm getting mad at the jerk who stole my parking place.
I don't care what you're getting mad at, all right? There's nothing that can happen in a parking lot that should make you that angry. Just calm down.
Wow.
It's okay.
Orson Charles.
Don't do crimes.
Pride of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Just don't do crimes.
Jeez.
It's not much to ask.
Just hanging out in his hometown, just trying to have a good time. People cutting him off in traffic. I do love the fact that it was cops, though. Of course,
and
it was
then
cops.
then they showed the badge, and he just goes, "I don't care."
I don't care. He continued to cuss them out and threaten them. Not a good idea to threaten police officers.
Be nice to police officers.
Yeah. Jeez. Don't do crimes. Don't do crimes. We were asked a very important question that I feel like needs answered before this program is over, Jeremy. You specifically have been asked, who's going to win the home run derby tonight?
Well, I mean, we all know that I am not much of a baseball aficionado.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't know it, I just don't like it. If I had a baseball team, and back to when I did have a baseball team, it was the New York Mets.
I see.
So for me, it is a very easy transition to go, you know what, it's going to be Pete Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to pick somebody to win the home run derby tonight, it's going to be Pete Alonso.
Okay, back-to-back winner. I'm surprised you don't have, some doubloons on this one. This is the first sporting event that you could put some wagering on.
Who said I didn't?
Oh, so you may or may not have a piece of paper that says Pete Alonso's name next to it.
Plus 275.
I was going to say, with a small number next to his name.
He's the favorite.
He is the favorite.
If you were going to go off the board, I mean, I can't go Albert Pujols. Like that's not happening.
No, and he's like plus 2,400.
2,600.
2,600 now. Okay. That's not happening. I mean, it's a fun little thing. They're throwing him in there one last time. He gets his last ride in the home run derby, but he's not a contender to win the whole thing. I would have to go with Soto.
And to see and the odds are so low on him. He's 5.5 to 1. That's not enough for me.
Okay.
If I'm going to go off because to me, Pete Alonso is clearly the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
If I was going off the board, I'd have to go Jose Ramirez.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think his swing panders to this. That's why he's such a distant dog.
Mm-hmm.
But weirder things have happened.
I am looking very much forward to the home run derby tonight. Well,
it's just a sad state of affairs that the home run derby is more interesting than anything that happens in your sport.
And you know why?
Because it's actual stuff.
Clock. It's all about the clock.
Is it, though? Or is it just this is the most fun part of this game? The most fun part of baseball is home runs.
True.
Nobody cares about your stupid shift where you have 4 infielders on one side. Okay? Nobody. That's annoying. Chicks dig the long ball. We did this for how many years?
Right. I still don't like the fact that they do the seeding, the head-to-head matchups.
And that's dumb. Don't do that.
It's ridiculous. It should be the top 4 performers moving on to the next round and all of that. But since they put the hit clock in, it's been phenomenal.
Well, it makes it slightly more watchable. I've never been fond of the one-on-one. There are 2 events in sports that they're always going to be what they are. You just have to avoid getting in your own way.
Mm-hmm.
The home run derby and the slam dunk contest. But there is one thing that I actually want to ask your opinion on because I have a definitive opinion on it.
Okay.
You like that they put Pujols and Cabrera in this game?
In the All-Star game? Yes. I think, the Legends picks, I think is what they referred to them as. I'm fine with it. It's for the fans anyway.
I would agree with that.
And the fans, it gives you something to talk about. It gives, you get to see one last time. I get that Miggy is not retiring this year, or that we know of. Albert is.
Possible that he should, but
I mean, absolutely, I would think that he should. You hit the milestone and you walk away. Why not? But I feel like it adds a little something extra to it. You give the nod to the older guys, let them get in there, let them get in at bat, let them wave the cap, and then go on about your business.
So I have a bit of a conspiracy theory with this.
Okay.
I love a good conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
Love putting my tinfoil hat on. Do you believe that this was just a let them tip the cap to the fans, or could I argue that this is 2 of the most identifiable names in your sport, and it gives you an actual reason to watch it? Basically, my question is, are you giving Rob Manfred credit for this, or do you think this was such a layup that any idiot could have figured this out?
I think it was a layup that anybody could have figured it out, but I don't think I don't think more people are going to watch the All-Star game because Pujols and Miggy get their moment. I mean, maybe it makes it more interesting, or I guess it does make it more interesting for Cardinals fans or for Los Angeles Angels fans who really liked Pujols when he was there, or Detroit Tigers fans with Miggy. But I don't think you're adding any extra eyeballs to the All-Star game just because those two are in it, because we all know what this is going to be. It's going to be exactly what I said. You're going to give them an at-bat, and then it's done.
My argument would be this would give you a reason to stick around. I think most lay baseball fans know a lot of the starters.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into the reserves, there are guys here that you wouldn't know if they walked in your house.
Right.
And I think there's something to that. Where I think they erred is making both of them starters. That's where I think you boo-booed.
Mm-hmm.
This should have been they come in the fifth, and it gives you something actually to look forward to. The back half of the Major League All-Star game is unwatchable.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, because you have to get everybody in the game because it has to be fair. I actually didn't mind when home field in the World Series was based on this.
I didn't either. I thought
never minded that.
I thought it made it exponentially more interesting. I actually watched All-Star games then. Now, I don't care.
I think Andres Galarraga was in the last one of these I watched. So
that's been a while.
It's just, it does nothing for me.
Right.
It does nothing for me.
Not even the home run derby?
I will watch the home run derby, but almost invariably I'm going to get tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works every year. I watch the first round, and then at the end of it, you just, okay, like this is taking really, really much longer than it should. It's just, it's the downfall of baseball.
Mm-hmm. It has.
We're in a social media age where everybody wants things to be consumable in 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdown passes are consumable like that.
Mm-hmm.
Individual home runs are consumable like that. I'm to the point, I don't care about any All-Star game in any sport. But you could stop doing it, and I would not care.
And I would agree with you on past home run derbies. But now, like I said, because of the clock, they put the clock on it now, and I mean, you'll no longer have those scenarios where, what was it? I think it was Josh Hamilton. When Josh Hamilton was in New York.
Josh Hamilton borderline had to take a nap.
And he hit, 36 home runs or something in the first round? That took 45 minutes.
It was very long.
And it was like, this is fun to watch, but after a moment, you're like, okay, we get it. He's juicing. What do
we get it. You can hit ball real far.
It was such an emotional thing because of the story of Josh Hamilton, falling bad into drugs and making his major league comeback and then being all-star level to the home run derby champion. It was such a great story that it was an awesome night. But it was hampered by the fact that it just took so long.
So I'm going to opine something. And I know they're doing the clock. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there is a more consumable way to do this.
Okay.
You're the baseball purist. I'm the baseball hater.
Okay.
Do it like long drives. That's something I've competed in multiple times. The way that works, you get 10 balls. Mm-hmm. If you don't land it in the landing spot, it just doesn't count.
Right.
Longest one, there you go. In this, I feel like you'd have to add them together because you would have to give credit for hitting more actually out of the park as opposed to hitting them in foul territory.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever hits the longest, you advance.
Longest home run wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, the teams would hate it because you're going to have guys that are throwing their back out trying to hit one 500 feet.
Right.
I think it would make it more consumable.
Mm-hmm.
You got a guy that's down 500 feet with 2 pitches left. Then he hits one. That's actual drama.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel like this. I feel like it ages poorly. But I say the same thing about the dunk contest.
Shooting for a number instead of the distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then it's like, okay, he's got to hit 17 more of these. Like, I have to go to the bathroom and I need a beer and. Can we just hurry this up, please?
Right. I don't like the long ball contest.
I had a feeling you wouldn't.
I heard so many people that talk about, so many baseball purists will talk about, big guys or big names don't want to be in the home run derby because it messes with your swing. I've never understood that. You don't change your swing for batting practice, do you?
I mean, I wouldn't think so.
Right. That's all. That's what they're doing. It's batting practice.
And it's not like you
I
don't
feel like
take
that has
batting practice.
always. And look, I'm not the baseball mechanics guy. I'm not the baseball coach. So I may be completely ignorant on this, but I don't feel like asking a guy to go up and have some fun at batting practice during the All-Star break is going to mess with his swing. You know what I think that is? I think it's a cop-out for everybody who's had a bad second half of the season that went, I participated in the home run derby, so it screwed up my swing. Stop it. Be a man. Take off the bra. Pull up your pants. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. When we come back for the break, Jeremy's going to be mad.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
I-40 east and westbound shut down at Newfound Road due to an accident. 40 westbound side backups begin at Hendersonville Road. 40 on the eastbound side backups begin at exit 27. 240 westbound also beginning to back up to Brevard Road. Due to this accident, expect heavy delays in Canton, US 1923 north and southbound, crawling between Blackwater Drive and Wiggins Road. Smoky Park Highway southbound also impacted between I-40 and Wiggins Road. 26 westbound is slowing approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Future 26 eastbound is slowing between Riverside Drive and 240. 240 westbound is slow between Charlotte Street and US 1923 exit 4A. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sandhill Road to Pond Road, heavy delays. Avery Creek area, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is paid for by North Carolina Department of Transportation. Did you know you're half as likely to die in a car crash if you wear your seatbelt? Make sure the odds are in your favor and buckle up every seat, every time. By buckling up, you avoid a $179 fine. Paid for by the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
I am now over 80 pounds down now on the PhD weight loss program. We've been doing it since Thanksgiving. I've been working the plan. Their healthy nutrition, the protein-based diet that I am on with PhD Weight Loss has helped me lose over 80 pounds. I cannot be happier with my results, and I owe it all to Dr. Ashley Lucas, the MVP of PhD.
You have been running 5Ks and doing things like that, which that was not really my goal. I've always been athletic. I've always done athletic things. I just wanted to be able to do it and not die for 48 hours afterwards. And thanks to the plan and program at PhD, I'm able to do that. I'm playing golf the same way I did in my early 20s. I'm down to my high school weight, and I haven't felt like this since I was in high school, and it's all thanks to PhD Weight Loss.
213 pounds after being 295. MyPhDWeightLoss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Dirty perky shark back flat.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Shark back flat.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Yesterday is the reason we talk about this LIV golf thing so often, because there are still 4 events a year that are special. And it's special because everybody plays in them. And you have the opportunity to see 2 kids like Cameron Smith and Cameron Young beat people like Rory McIlroy and Dustin Johnson and Bryson DeChambeau. You watch the golf. Where did the last 2 names I just said finish?
No clue.
So tied for 6th and tied for 8th. But you didn't know that. You know why? Because they got about as much camera time on Sunday as I did. It's okay to hate these guys for moving on and to be a little salty, but if you're going to let them play in your tournaments, maybe, I don't know, at least show them the common decency to put them on television every once in a while. I watched virtually every second of this. I was 4 hours ago years old when I realized they finished that high. I understand they weren't competitive for the win. I understand you're mad at them. I get it. We need to come to some kind of agreement here on how this is going to work. But if you're going to let them play in the tournaments, at least acknowledge what they did. I saw more of guys that finished 15 shots behind the leaders than I did of the 2 names I just said. Mm-hmm. There's still big names in this sport. You're going to have to come to some kind of agreement, but at least cover the sport if you're going to cover the sport. I'm mad.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We will have the edge rusher teams posted out on social media. You can weigh in on that. We'll also have the poll up tomorrow to decide who gets the number 1 pick in tomorrow's daily draft.
Which will be cornerbacks.
Ooh, corners.
Actually, you know what? We could just put all secondary players together.
Ooh, that would be tough.
I like that idea better.
That would be tough.
It is decided.
It is decided. Secondary players tomorrow will be the subject of the daily draft right here in the Ingles studio.
And then we'll get a little weird and fun with the last 3 of the week.
Okay.
Because we'll be out of positions.
We'll go all offensive line.
Or we could draft best waters. Because that would be more entertaining than offensive linemen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of good ones. End of message.
Right. End of message. All right, we will be back with you tomorrow at 3 here in the Ingles studio. Like I said, don't forget to vote on today's daily draft teams on social media. Look for that graphic coming out shortly after the program, and we will be back here tomorrow with all of your favorite segments, and who knows what news will break between now and then. Have a very good evening, everybody. Enjoy the home run derby tonight. That's the biggest thing going.
I'll be taking a very aggressive nap.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Chances for those showers and thunderstorms in the early going here. Patchy fog late. We're going to drop temperatures back to around 65. Early fog, of course, for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies. Temperatures going up to the mid-80s. Maybe some scattered storms on the way for the afternoon. Still a possibility for scattered storms Tuesday night. And we've got chances for afternoon storms Wednesday. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 88 for the high. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Interstate I-40 east and westbound in Haywood County closed at Newfound Road due to an accident. 40 westbound delays begin at Hendersonville Road. 40 eastbound delays begin at exit 27. 240 westbound also backing up to Brevard Road. Expect heavy delays in the Canton area beginning on US 1923 between Blackwater Drive and Wiggins Road. Also impacted Smoky Park Highway southbound stop and go between I-40 and Wiggins Road. and Newfound Road approaching I-40, heavy delays both directions. 26 westbound is slow approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 240 westbound slow between Charlotte Street and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound delays between Riverside Drive and 240. Sardis Road near Inca Village moving from Sandhill Road to Bavard Road, heavy volume. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is